morning, everyone. Welcome to the month of November. Just few more days. We go into a few hours. Will be in Christmas, December, edition the 30th, as we get ready for the Star Radio UK morning show. So, I welcome those of you that have joined us so far. So, we'll get to go. Should call Archie now. I say good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Let's start the other platforms quickly. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa tẹ́tí darapọ̀ mọ́ wa káàbọ̀ sórí ètò lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. A kí yín pé àtúkù bójú ọjọ́ ṣe rí láàárọ̀ ẹ̀. And welcome to the finest
103
African and Caribbean radio station in London. My name is Olayomi and I say good afternoon and welcome. Mo kí gbogbo wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí o. So I welcome us as we're joining. So should be connecting to the speaker as well. So now let's call Archie and see where we are. Good morning, everybody. So that mo bá gbogbo wa o. And I'm literally just a little bit behind schedule, but it's been a long day yesterday. Today is another day, so and we did try our best. Best to go work. It's not easy to be in the media. Sometimes it's long days, sometimes it's short days. Even the way I work from home, I still do so much work. Sometimes the time catch up on you. You can hardly even know that you are literally so bear with us. So I don't know how the system is going to be this morning because Tito me lo contatilo. So if we try a lot, Roy, see how far it can hold. So eventually only crash, then it might crash. So we see how it goes. So let me join Archie. Sister mi wà pẹ̀lú ẹwà mo fi tọ̀wọ̀tọ̀ mo fi kíyàn. Our grandchildren call. It's been a while. I know you're always on YouTube. We love you. We appreciate you, man. Thanks so much. Eka join studio, and then we come back and do our own discussion later.
As I say, Mr. Olayomi Koiki, who is joining in, bring you one. When it comes to what? Everything in Nigeria. Okay. So wherever you are, something playing in the background, a class tune from the West Sax. Bringing some jazz this morning as well. But it's now time for us to go to our North London studios where Mr. Olayomi Koiki is. I think his image was not sure about what is happening to his image, but he will definitely. Oh. Yes. Okay. Yomi?
A very good morning, Mr. Archie.
Good morning. Okay. It looks like your image is frozen. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's going to come back on in just about a few minutes. Bear with me.
Okay. Listeners, just bear with us whilst we try to get Yomi's image in
system. system. All right, what's happened? All right, I think it's back now. So let's call Archie back and see.
Okay. Okay, whilst we wait for the image to load. Okay. All right. Yes, I can see a bit of movement there. I saw a bit of movement there. I don't know whether it's from my end. Yeah, I can see the blinking of the eye. Okay, so we are good to go. All right, then, listeners, Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Mr. Olayomi for you, let's go straight to our North London studios. And I'm saying, Yomi, good morning.
Well, a very good morning to you, Mr. Archie. Good morning to all our listeners and viewers from around the globe, and welcome once again to the Starr Radio UK network, the end of the month, where we say a very good afternoon to those of you in Nigeria, because it's a different time zone, so it is already afternoon in Nigeria, but we're still 1 hour behind schedule right here in UK. So I say good morning to all our listeners right here in UK. Good morning, Mr. Archie.
Good morning, my brother. How are you doing? And how was your journey back home? And how is the lovely family as well?
Well, it's a very, very cold winter. I think it's a little bit more colder this morning because on my way out this morning, you could tell that it is becoming, the winter time. So there's no longer a joke. We have to keep warm. It was a very beautiful journey. I love to travel through, both network. I spoke to you on my way home yesterday. So when I get on the bus, then I change on the overground. Then I decide to come off just some few stops away from the house because I just want to get the view of the nightlife in London. And that means I popped on again on the bus. And that shows that, it doesn't matter what time you travel, you can literally not worried that you might be attacked or you might have some hiccups. So that means going home on the public transport. And one thing I also saw on the overground is like an advert. When the trains are very packed, it is a crime, to keep your body too close to somebody else, because that is literally a sexual harassment. So when you're traveling on the public transport, try as much as possible not to move too close to male or female, because you could be charged for sexual harassment.
So when you see that the train is
just move your body back.
Somebody has to get a cage. I think I need to create that a cage. So that when you're standing there, it's like the metal around you, so it says you. So I didn't touch you. It's my cage that is catching you.
Yeah. Because we know there are some pedophiles out there that take advantage of the train when they are packed, and they probably wants to, rub something or something, and it is a sexual harassment. And when I saw that, I was just laughing, because we've experienced it. Sometimes you're on the train, and some individuals just wants to get too close, and that could be Anthony Adedeji is actually laughing. This is not like the Molwe in Lagos where everybody just touch each other, it's a sexual harassment. I don't know whether Lagos they would have to do something on that, but I remember Molwe, fellas saying 99 standing, 44, 99 standing, 44 sitting, and that 99 are so packed like sardines.
I remember when I visited Lagos back in the day. I used the boat once, but I said, okay, let's go on this one, and see how I feel of it. I laughed and I was like, oh my gosh, properly packed. But well, that is how our transport system is like. But when you look at what is going on here and the way things, so it doesn't matter what time of the day or the night, unless there are some services that have been affected by maybe strikes or something of the sort, you have things moving swiftly and you are able to go about your duties nicely. But can that be said about Nigerians this morning? And that is what we're going to be looking at. But wherever you are listening to us from, share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages. Let me say good morning to all of you on the other sister platforms listening to us as well. Welcome to the Thursday edition of the morning show. I am Archie with Ms. Olayomi in our North London studios. Now, Nigerians are not interested, are uninterested in budgetary arithmetics. A renowned economist, Bismarck Rwani, says Nigerians are not interested in budgetary figures if the price of basic commodities like rice, bread, curry don't go down. And how is it true? Is that it is so true? I talk about you come and sit there using all grammar. Let me put it that way. Oh, you know, our GDP for this year has grown by so percentage, and it went up and went to the side, and blah blah blah. Getting this wrong, blah blah blah, and they say all those stuff. But the woman or the man, that schoolboy who was this morning, should have had some bread with some cup of tea or something. Goes and the price is still there. But again, one interesting thing is that they still go vote for these individuals as well, and they come and do the same thing to them. Johnny, tell us more.
Well, you're quite right. We did discuss so much on that on the Niger Voices yesterday. The focus was on the budget of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You were talking about the COP28, which is currently going on in United Arab Emirates. The president has also arrived there. We'll be telling you what we know so far in terms of the president arriving at that. But the question is, there's so much borrowing as well. The president will be borrowing about almost 8.4 billion US dollars, and likewise almost 100 million euro to fund this budget. This is the first budget of this government. He had a supplementary budget, but this time around, it seems that the renowned economics Rwani is very well known in Nigeria and likewise around the globe. I've been following this individual for a very long time. He's an economics, and he actually said, look, it doesn't matter the arithmetic that you put in there, the figures, the breakdown. We had Bishop Additional giving us the analysis about, this budget, because many Nigerians do not understand what the budget stands for. What they just want to hear is, what is the cost of bread today? What is the cost of gari today? What is the cost of rice? Do I have a job? We outside the country, we're becoming a little bit tired of knowing that there's so much money in the country. They can tell us that there's no money, but the problem is the money tends not to be used properly. And when individuals send you a message, the sympathy there, you don't have it. And sometimes, if you're not careful, you could end up become another poor individual living outside offshore of Nigeria because you're trying to keep up and support as many people that you don't even have the means for. Nigerians aren't interested in the budgetary arithmetic as long as if the bread and rice prices don't decrease. Let's talk about it. Renowned economics Bismarck Rwani says Nigerians are not interested in the budgetary figures if the price of the basic, and we're talking about the basic right now, the basic commodities like the rice, the bread, and the gari don't come down. You might be asking, what takes, a country that has vast amount of land that cannot have so much cassava transform into gari. But do you know why the gari is not out in the market? It's not because the Fulani terrorists are creating havoc on the farm. It's because cassava is also being sold to the breweries. So that means that more Nigerians are drinking Guinness. You might not get gari in the market. It went further to say, Rwani is the managing director of the Financial Directives Company Limited, made this known yesterday during an appearance on one of the morning show in the business sector. He said, and I quote, in the end, budgetary arithmetic, mathematics in economics is of no use to anybody except when by this time, 6 month time, if we are buying rice at 40,000 naira a bag rather than 60,000 naira a bag, if we are buying bread at 900 naira for a big loaf instead of 1,300, which we are doing today, if we are buying gari at the low prices, the people are not interested in the budget. It's balanced what the debt is. And this morning, at least, we were able to serve bread for the children. I remember my children saying to me, Mom says we must drink orange juice every time we have bread. The question is, how many Nigerian children have even ended up in school, talk less of having orange juice after a toast bread with butter and jam?
Well, listen, let's start in the UK. It's interesting. But Bishop Adesina, can you, if you are listening to us, can you just send us a message? Because I want to know, do you think that with the policies that this government is taking at the moment, the roles that they are taking, there's a tendency, you can, maybe a glimmer of hope that maybe come a year's time, we're going to see that maybe things will turn out a bit better for us, or as we see, they'd rather raking in the depth, and we are sinking and sinking. Some of you are there, me. Good morning to you. I hope that you are doing very, very well. Listen to Starr Radio UK. But every Wednesday at 18 hours, remember Niger Voices, a program that looks into every situation that is happening in Nigeria, comes away, hosted by Mr. Olayomi Koiki. You don't want to miss out. If you missed out yesterday, go to the Starr Radio UK app, just type in Niger Voices, it will pop up, and listen to it there. Okay then. Now, so looking at the loans that government is going to be taking, I'm talking about billions. We were talking about $8 billion dollars, and we were talking about 100 million euros and all that. Now, what are these earmarked for?
Well, from what with the what the president said, regarding what these are meant for, it talks about infrastructure. Remember that any country that doesn't have the robust infrastructure. I traveled through, and next week is going to be another very busy one at the COVID center. We've just got an email that confirmed that next week the big guns are in. Boris Johnson, the former Prime Minister. So we're going to be there again next week to catch on what Boris Johnson will be telling us. So infrastructure, is what the president says we need a law. We're also going to be investing in the water, in agriculture, and likewise security. This is what the loan is going to be used for, according to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as he delivers his budget yesterday at the Senate floor, where many Nigerians this morning are asking the question, what does the budget mean to me and my family?
Interestingly, when Buhari was the president, there was these monies that were being paid to some people. I think they were giving to them, whether loans or grants.
These were called, because we were calling the vice president then Baba Gowori, it's a man that moves with the money. It was a kind of, I remember meeting him at the Alimosho local government, and these were just, part of the, the lies, because what they did was they used that, to campaign. Many of those that took those loans have never paid back anyway. So it was just more like dashing Nigerian some freebies.
Because why I'm asking that is they're going to take all these monies and they will say, okay, we're going to put them in agriculture, okay, infrastructure that it doesn't end up, it's not supposed to end up in individuals' pockets. But we know that they give maybe reconstruction here, this buildings here, or that to get the infrastructure and everything. But when it comes to monies that are going for maybe agriculture sector, where it has to go to individuals or a group of people, as whether they do it on merit, or if you belong to their party, that is when you are going to get it, or whoever is the head of whatever, maybe you are coming from their state or their region, that's what they're going to be doing. How do you think, like this eminent or renowned economist has said, Bismarck Luwani has said that it doesn't matter what you are doing, but as to whether individuals hearing all this are going to feel it in their pockets. Yummy.
I remember saying on the Niger Voices yesterday, may God bless one of my uncle, as I completed my secondary school, every time there was a budget then, being read out, he wants us to break it down. And, how does the budget affect, the average Nigerian? What do you feel, when budgets are read on a yearly basis? We have 774 local government in Nigeria today. How does that budget materialize into your community? How do you feel the impact of the budget, and what can be done if those impacts are not there? Because many Nigerians today are not asking questions. And those of us that are asking questions, I remember somebody saying to me yesterday that I talk too much. And I say, well, that's the job of the journalist. The journalist is meant to be talking. I am not a doctor that practice practical. We talk, we analyze things, and we try to bring it in a way that you will understand. So the President Bola Tinubu says, this time around, his budget will be doing so much, but it seems that the opposition, the PDP, disagree with him. And this morning, the PDP says Designed to strangulate poor Nigerians, the PDP faulted proposed 27 trillion 2024 budget. The opposition party said the budget framework with respect to recurring expenditure vote of 9.9 trillion. Remember that we will be paying back 8 trillion, in terms of our debt. Capital expenditure voted of 8.7 trillion, and 8.25 trillion for debt services is unsustainable. The Nigerian debt continued to grow. Bishop Adesina spoke to us yesterday. There's nothing wrong in getting a loan, but the problem is loans that Buhari took where they built that railway, and it seems that some Nigerians decided that maybe it's another freebies, and they've been doing what they called racketeering, where you are not paying. It cost me almost £13 to travel yesterday. Imagine if the TFL doesn't get hold of that £13 and somebody else is getting it. Multiply that by the thousands of people that travel on the train network. I was at the Paddington train station. I was also at the Farringdon. I traveled through the Elizabeth line. All these lines function. If loan has been taken for it, at least we saw what it is used for. As against in Nigeria, when trains and other projects are produced, sometimes they are not up to the quality. And that is why something like the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway has been going on for almost 20 years without any finishing to it.
Well, listeners, Starr Radio UK updates from Nigeria with Mr. Olayomi in our North London studios. I'm actually here in the South studios, and we are bringing you all that you need to know. And my able producer is making sure I am warm, bringing me some hot stuff to warm me up. Thank you very much, Mr. Francis Guy. Okay. Now, interesting. Now, I wanted to look at one other area where we are looking at accountability. Now, yesterday we did talk about the COVID inquiry that is going on, and we said that they will try to find out, not actually a criminal inquest, no, but to find out, to learn lessons and things that need to be done next time so that we don't do those same mistakes and then end up. But if the government is coming out with all this money, is there a tendency or is there a place where we are able, as citizens of Nigeria, to check whether those monies were used for the purposes? And if not, what actions are going to be taken about that? Will the president say anything about that? No.
Well, expect accountability in this new administration. Most importantly, if this government is serious about fighting corruption, then it will have to start from the internal. That means that it needs to have a lot of inquiries set up, how things were managed, in the last administration. But it seems that is not even happening yet, because even after 6 months of the office, Nigeria President Bola Ahmed Tinubu failed to uphold human rights, according to the Amnesty International. So you can tell that as much as many of us are expecting accountability, maybe next month, which is just less than a few hours here now, Nnamdi Kanu return back again to the court, where the Supreme Court will make judgment, and let's see if the institution under this administration will respect that, because we've seen the failure of not respecting the institution like the judiciary. When they give order, it seems that the EFCC is just doing its own thing, while the Inspector General of Police, Egbetokun, is now saying that the military is acting like a Boko Haram after an attack at the Adamawa police station headquarters. It now shows that not just Boko Haram, we also have the Nigerian military also called Boko Haram. I didn't say so. This is what the Inspector General of Police, Egbetokun, said some few days ago.
Well, if the Inspector General of Police calls the military Boko Haram, then he has the grounds to say it, because he has the proof to say, because he is the one who is supposed to see to the peace and the security in the country. Yes? So if he's calling them that, but after 6 months in office, Nigeria's President Tinubu failed to uphold human rights. Amnesty International is saying. Now, is it because he is not seen to it to say that, look, Dr. Chisande Igboho is a free man. He can do whatever he wants to do. He can come to the country. There is nothing against him. Whatever quest that he was fighting for, they see that it's a genuine thing, and nobody should do anything. And Nnamdi Kanu as well. I mean, look at him. How many times have he been to court? And we're thinking that maybe the president coming in will come and say that, well, I'm because somebody who was also being pursued at the time and you had to flee the country, we also now sit down and say, you know what, let's free people who are fighting for the cause of their people fairly. But nothing has been heard. Yomi.
Well, nothing has been heard because, again, this is a new administration. 6 months down the line, it thinks that, the Amnesty International believe that the under, human rights agenda for Nigeria, although the Nigerian Constitution, the 1999 Constitution, contains provision of human rights, Nigeria also ratifies several human rights treaties, including the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, and also the African Charter on the Human Rights and People's Rights. The country has also been plagued, by decades of human rights violations and abuses perpetrated by both the state and the non-state actor. Amnesty International has previously documented numerous human rights violations in the country, yet victims continue to be denied access to justice and effective remedies. I was listening to another very beautiful, investigative journalist known as Dr. Kemi Olunloyo this morning, and like he said, just as journalists are now running out of the country because of the humane and also attack. Let me take you back to the 80s. There was a brilliant journalist known as Dele Giwa that was also killed. I mean, you would think, how did we get to as at the 80s when a letter bomb was actually sent to him? As at the time, it was a military dictator, and that was Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida. President Tinubu administration must guarantee, ensure the respect for human rights of everyone in the country. In Nigeria, the right to freedom of expression, media freedom are routinely violated. Occasionally, security offices of forces threatening, arrest, and detain journalists, bloggers, human rights defenders, activists, people like Showore. During the 2023 general election, at least 42 journalists were attacked. And sometimes people say we are still not in war. I mean, even during the war that we are seeing taking place in the Middle East and Ukraine, we have not seen up to 42 journalists being killed. But 42 journalists were attacked, harassed, beaten, or denied access to cover the election. And that is why people say, why not come back home, somebody like me, knowing fully well that coming home will be a threat to my human right that I'm enjoying in this country. So we always say, we hope that international community will continue to hold this administration, just as we saw how the former President Muhammadu Buhari commits so much genocide in the Southeast by killing many people that led to even Twitter removing one of its tweets. And he also decided, well, if that is the case, I shut down Twitter in Nigeria. You can see the kind of power that sometimes the African president abuse. Remember that Nigerians use Twitter not just to communicate. Some make their money out of Twitter, and for 6 months, there was no economy running between Nigerians' activities on the Twitter.
Well, listen, this is quite an interesting one. We say we are practicing democracy, the rule of law. As whether whatever goes on is the rule of law, it's another question. You can answer it and I can answer it as well. You know what I'm saying? That when they say, oh, come to Nigeria and come and do that now, because I see that the kind of democracy that they are practicing there, or the rule of law, is not the rule of law. That's why
well, yesterday during the COVID inquiry, I noticed, I'm sure you probably noticed that we had some individuals behind me. They are from University College London. Yeah. They are first year undergraduate. I was able to communicate with them. They had few of what we were saying because they knew that I was speaking back to the studio. We had engagement. And when I told them that, what we are fighting for, it seems that some Nigerians abuses us. One of them said, Jesus Christ, you could feel that, many Nigerians do not understand what it means when it comes to freedom. And that is why we say all the time, we don't have any problem with any government. But what we are saying is we want the right of every Nigerian, regardless of wherever they are in Nigeria, to be respected, even though the 1999 Constitution says so, but the government do not accept it. And they want to govern us on the same 1999 Constitution.
And they'll tell you, oh, it's a rule of law. It's a rule of law. Well, when it suits them, it's the rule of law. But when it doesn't, well, as it happened to Mr. Oyekami, who was the director of finance and accounts at the governor's office. He went to a bank to withdraw money and ended up losing his life. But Yomi, first of all, before you come to that story, now, are we still in a time where we send people out to go to the banks to go and cash huge sums of money to bring? how is online transactions going on in Nigeria?
Well, to be honest with you, I mean, Nigeria is catching up when it comes to, moving money from, bank to, I mean, from individual without literally, but again, it's still a country that heavily depend on cash transaction. Sometimes, I mean, week goes by. I mean, I hardly see cash in this country. Not that I don't have the cash in my account, but because almost everything you do is moving from point A to B, and that way it's also secured. But you'll be expecting how come, government officials in 21st century are still moving heavy load of cash. Well, again, Nigeria happened to one individual, and the picture is just behind there, as you can tell. We're talking about the armed robbers that killed the Ogun finance director with a bullion van ambush. I believe this is an inside job. It might have been taking this kind of money in the past. Like we always say, the country is not secured. And if in Ogun State this is happening, you might as well think about what is happening in the northern part of the country where many such attack goes by. But again, we pray for the family and also the state, Ogun State. I'm from Ogun State myself, but the Commissioner of Police of Ogun State, Abiodun Alamutu, on Wednesday night, have now confirmed the killing of Mr. Taiwo Oyekami, the Director of Finance and Account attached to the office of the Governor Dapo Abiodun at Okemosun, Abeokuta. Alamutu was gunned down while returning from the bank where he had taken a bullion van to withdraw some funds for the state. Whatever the money was meant for, like I said, investigation needs to continue. But when investigative journalists like David Odoye, Fisayo, Dr. Kemi Olunloyo, and many of such, investigate this crime, they are also the one that end up being attacked because it seems that somebody is protecting somebody, just like we've been monitoring the death of Mohbad. It seems now that the good guns are now trying to cover up what actually happened and led to the death of that young artist.
Well, listeners, we will not ever finish with all the miracles. I call them miracles that happen in Africa. Yes? But, well, we'll make sure we bring you everything that we need to know. 11:36 the time. I will leave Yomi to bring you the rest of the stories and what is happening on the social media platform. Over to you, Yomi.
Once again, we pray for the family of these young man with the wife, the children, and the state as well. We hope that investigation will quickly and we'll be able to find out what led to the death of this finance director that was killed in Abeokuta, Okemosun, yesterday. Well, again, gunmen killed 7 in a fresh attack in Plateau State. It's another sad story coming from Nigeria. Gunmen have reportedly attacked 2 communities in Plateau State, killing 7 persons. The victims were said to have died following attack by the assailant in Puka and Pimpa community of Mangu local government area of the state in the early hours of today. It was learned that while the 6 men and a lady were killed in Puka and Pimpa community. Okay, can you still hear me? Because there's another.
Yes, go on. I can hear you.
All right. It was learned that while the 6 men and the lady were killed in Puka community, the gunmen also stole sheep and other domestic animals in Pimpa community. So it seems that this one has got to do with people that came to steal, community domestic animals, but end up killing as well. Well, again, Punka community, Mangu local government area of this Plateau State came under heavy attack at the early hours of this morning, just as we've seen the same attack in the southwest part of Nigeria. These attacks continue, and the question is, while the military that is meant to support the police to do the job to protect Nigerians, as the Inspector General of Police says that they are the same Boko Haram that end up going into the police station in Adamawa and end up killing, those officers. The question to many Nigerians is, we now have the new sheriffs in town. Why are we still getting this sort of attack continuously? TUC 6 end to workplace violence and harassment. We just talked about sexual harassment for those that travel on the London Underground or Overground in London. You do not put your body too close to someone. It will be classified as sexual harassment. In Nigeria, not just work violence has happened. Also, we've seen, especially the women, and the young girls, being sexually harassed by their boss, and most of them probably won't say anything. I remember, one of our mothers said to me that as far back as in the 90s, all are said had to have some kind of sexual engagement with their boss so that they can be able to retain the job that they were offered. This is as far back as in the 90s. This is happening, most importantly, not just in the banking sector, but almost most work private and government owns as well. The president of the Trade Union Congress, Festus Osifo, has now called for strict enforcement of the International Labour Organization Convention C-190 Recommendation 206, which seek to address the right of everyone to the world of work devoid of violence and harassment. He said it is only when such recommendations are implemented and enforced that gender-based violence and harassment in the world of work can be eliminated. Osifo made the call in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State yesterday while speaking at the 3-day 2023 annual seminar organized by the TUC Women Commission with the team projecting ways to eliminate gender-based violence and harassment from the world of work. It is good that we see all these events happening, seminars and all such, but implementing it is another thing that we talked about all the time. 11:40, we take one or two more from the news, and then we go straight into what is happening on the social media space, especially with the budget that have just been read. Governor Alia urged hunters to sharpen skills in tackling crime in Benue State. Benue is meant to be the food basket of Nigeria, but it has been under heavy attack by the Fulani terrorists, the ISWAP, the ISIS. The governor is now advising them to respect the right of the law-abiding citizen. Operatives of the Nigerian Hunters and Forestry Security Service has been advised to sharpen their skills in combating crime in Benue State. The state governor, Ayasinta Alia, gave this charge on Wednesday during the closing of another 4-day capacity training at the 72 Special Force Battalion in Makurdi. Like I said, Benue State has been under serious attack most of the time, and we hope that the security operatives will do much as well. Well, it seems that, when politicians attack each other, you can tell that, some kind of monetary hasn't happened between them again. 1.2 billion airlifted for Fayoshe's election, Obanikoro tells the court. Fayoshe was a one-time governor, former governor of Ekiti State, but also Obanikoro is well known within the political realm in the country. A former minister of the state defense, Obanikoro, yesterday told Justice Inamdi Dingba of the Federal High Court in Abuja that the sum of 1.2 billion naira cash was airlifted to former Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayoshe for the 2014 governorship election in the state. You can tell that this is why Emefiele wanted to, color change the money so that whoever politicians held so much money to use during the election would not be able to use it. And it seems that, like they say, Tinubu is now using his head to break kola nut. Fayoshe is facing trial by the EFCC alongside his firm, Spotless Investment Limited, following their alleged involvement in 6.9 billion money laundering. You can swipe, some say, stop talking, while we are saying, well, we have to keep talking because these are staggering amount of money. These are taxpayers' money that should have been used for purpose, but it seems that has not happened. Let's go a little bit further. When prosecution counsel Wahab Shitu, senior advocate of Nigeria, asks Obanikoro to shed light on the source of the said amount, the ex-minister said he did not know the source of the money and that he only got information on the money from the former national advisor, as the security advisors are then, Colonel Sambo Dasuki. I'm sure many Nigerians will remember Dasuki very well. It just shows that this was the PDP as at the time. It shows that the inept of a country that needs help, and that is why some of us are saying maybe we should just, disfragment this country so that we can be able to tackle all this corruption. These are staggering amount of money. When you go to Ekiti today, you cry for many of the indigenes there because things have become much more poorer than even as it was before. Well, what is trending? It seems that Tinubu, I'm just getting the image, Tinubu likes this kind. Let's get this out. King Charles, I didn't know that he's also at Dubai. It seems that the image is just being popped out 16 minutes ago. And let's see if the engineer can give us, the background of that before we give you, the story to that as well. Once again, you're still listening to the Starr Radio UK network, the morning show, 11:43. I'll be returning back to Archie in just about a few minutes. Let's talk about, the president with what we are getting from the Twitter, the X handle of the president. And as we get that image up in just a few minutes, and right there, that is King Charles and the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And what do we know? What are they saying? I had a productive meeting with His Majesty King Charles III of England, who is also the head of the Commonwealth. Many people have complained about being a Commonwealth that doesn't work for us, but that's another conversation for another day. A passionate climate advocate. The meeting was a significant step in strengthening the partnership between Nigeria and United Kingdom. I am optimistic about the positive impact our joint effort will have on our planet future as we look forward to setting an equitable global standard for environmental stewardship at the COP28. Well, let's look at what some are saying. Salawu says, ordained president from heaven, Akambi. Aluta Queen said, you go, they speak English for Twitter. They press our neck with Archie for real life. You, this man. Pastor Okeze said, God bless you, Mr. President. And Michael said, Chief Tinubu, please resign now. You do not have the solution to Nigerian problems. People are suffering, experiencing hardship. You and your APC co-travelers should quit now. Another one said, nobody asked for this information, Egbon. You can tell that Nigerians use that only space to get their voices held for those of us that wants to hear it as well. So that is King Charles there behind you. Hashtag Biafra referendum is trending this morning. Hashtag President Bola Tinubu is also trending. I'm not sure why Hillary Clinton is trending on the Nigerian thread this morning, but I can tell you that the Home Office is trending. We can tell that many Nigerians are still affected as they are claiming asylum, even though the Supreme Court says no one is going to be taken to Kenya for the time being, or Rwanda rather, but many Nigerians still have what they call immigration issues. ID Kabasa is trending. I think that is most of what is trending this morning. But let's look at the general views at 11:45 this morning. Once again, as we say, may Nigeria not happen to any one of us. Well, according to, there's another news popping out. Asari Dokubo saying Benin founded Lagos State shows how unintelligent some people are. That is historically patriotism, Asari Dokubo. Well, that has been going on because the Oba of Benin, traveled to Lagos State and says, Benin was founded by, Lagos was founded by Benin people, and that has generated a lot of conversation this morning. Also, according to the government in exile of the Biafra Information, Media and Communication, good morning, Biafra. I appreciate Biafran Liberation Army that has been fighting this insecurity in the Southeast and protecting as many of those in that region, since the Boko Haram military in Nigeria refused to protect them. So they've set up their own security outfit, and they say it will exist as long as they remain in Nigeria until they fine-tune a referendum or a negotiation whether the Biafra wants to stay in Nigeria or not. That is how far we can go this morning. I'm going to return back again to you in the studio. And just before I come back, the Alba Party in Scotland says they want to also break away from the United Kingdom, and we know that the former First Minister, Alex Salmond, has been the lead of that. And each time I go on their Twitter, this morning he says, more than 10 years ago, this is exactly the sort of initiative I would have taken if David Cameron had refused a Section 30 referendum. Indeed, I had a draft with a similar question in an advanced stage of the preparation, just in case. No doubt that fact concentrated the mind of the Westminster Wonderful. This is coming from the former First Minister of Scotland, now the leader of the Alba Party, that are saying that they want to have a second referendum to decide whether the Scottish wants to remain as part of the Union. So when those that are saying that the Yorubas that are asking for self-determination do not have a right, the question is, if that right is going to happen with the Scottish, the Yoruba also have the right, just like the Arewa, just like the Biafra. That is Star Radio UK this morning news update. The day is still the 30th of November, 2023. In the next few hours, we'll be saying Happy New Month to December.
Listeners, Olayomi bringing you everything that you need to know when it comes to Nigeria. But before we leave there, we're looking at the fact that I've talked about democracy, and I thought that it works, and I talked about the rule of law, and that's why the Scottish were allowed to have a referendum. Let the people decide if they really wanted to be part of the UK, and well, that referendum took place, and they said a majority of them said they wanted to remain. At least they've been given the chance. Maybe a few years down the line or down the road, they will go for another one, and then they will see whether they still want to be part of it. But when it comes to people saying, yeah, we want the rule of law, or we are in a democracy, and people are not being allowed, being shut down and stuff like that, then I beg to differ there. Okay, and then secondly, what is this about the formation of Lagos State? Tell me about Benin, the people of Benin. Where did they come from? Who are they?
Well, to be honest with you, it's been you can tell that when Obasanjo, the former president and military dictator in '76, decided to remove history, maybe just to think that some of us will forget, the killings and the genocide that took place during the Biafra War. Maybe some of us will forget what happened at the amalgamation, the slave trade. These are histories that have now been, kind of change around. And when a king like that comes in and say Lagos is no man's land, it belongs to the Benin people, well, it seems that some are already coming out to defend that, to say, well, maybe the king himself needs to go back and revisit history. And again, when history has been distorted, I mean, we were told like that Mungo Park founded River Niger, until some of us now realize that it was never even Mungo Park that even saw River Niger. Maybe his even great-grandfather never saw it. But again, the history of Lagos has, even I saw another post, I have to verify that, where now some are now putting it at the state level to change that name Lagos, because they believe that it's got intonation to the Portuguese 500 years ago.
Yeah, Lagos was named after by the Portuguese. That name was given by the Portuguese. But are the Benin, Benin people, are they Yoruba people, or what part of?
Well, some believe that they are still part of that Yoruba, but again, like I said, I mean, I don't have the full history of such, but what I can say is that there's been a lot of debunking to that. And some said even the king traveled, left Ondo State, left Oyo State, come to Lagos and said that Lagos belongs to the Benin. Like they say Oba where.
What does that mean?
Well, I mean, we'll have to ask those from that region.
Well, listeners, you cannot get this from anywhere apart from Starr Radio UK. Yomi, let me say thank you very much for this wonderful update.
Have a very good morning, and I'll leave you in the hands of the good hands of Archie for the rest of the program. I'll be back again tomorrow. The Friday will be the 1st of December, 2023. Bye for now, Mr. Archie.
Bye-bye, Yomi. Have a lovely day. All right, listeners, that has been Mr. Olayomi Koike bringing you updates from
Abi, back where there's so much problem to talk about, and so they get to divert things, crazy country, wahala country where wahala no go finish. Anybody who say the wahala go finish, you are wasting your time. The wahala in Nigeria will continue forever and ever until we all decide interfere. People don't know what they want now. When Nigerians know what they want, they will fight back. That's all I can say. Now they want the person we go to kind of stress themselves. We they tell you say the country is not working. There's so much disunity amongst us. But the same people, they want attack our, they can't attack us. So they might attack you now. So okay, easy dollar, okay, on the social media. So I went to my solution in Nigeria. Ọlọ́run jẹ́ rí solution o. Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kẹ́ rí solution. Solution yẹn máa rí. Ó kù díẹ̀ ni. Solution tí gbogbo wa ń wá yẹn Ọlọ́run á jẹ́ ká rí. We all know that is a lie. We can never get a solution to the mo kí ọpẹ́, mo kí àwọn KOIKIMEDIA team, àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ ẹ fi máa wojú wa lójoojúmọ́. A ti fún yín ní solution. A ní solution yẹn kò ń ṣe election kankan mọ́. Mo kí ìyàwó Fúnkẹ́ kò sọkọ ọgbọ́n bí adé, mo kí mà. Any election ò lè solve problem tó wà ní Nigeria. Dá mi lóhùn, both sides is loud and clear. Okay, mo fẹ́ sọ pé dá mi lóhùn. So I think what I need to be doing is mo ní láti jẹ́ kí speaker náà wà on while the mic is on as well, so that wàá lè máa pick tí Archie bá ń sọ̀rọ̀. Àwọn tó wà lórí mixer mo bá sọ̀rọ̀ because ibi táwọn ti máa ń gbọ́ wa nìyẹn, and every platform is important to me. So when a platform is down, it affects everything that we do So ẹ̀yin tí wá ẹ wá fọkàn balẹ̀ ẹ ká ṣàmà ká focus Mr. Koiki ìgbà wo ló máa wá bọ́ sí ẹ má wọrí ní ìgbà tó fẹ́ bọ́ sí kò tí yẹ everybody nínú so tó bá ti yẹ everybody wá àmọ́gbà tó máa bọ́ sí easy okay ìyàwó Grace Olúṣòótọ́ mo kì í mọ̀ kò tí dòun ni ẹ̀gbọ́n kan tí King Charles sọ nísìn so I'm just gonna go straight into another program because if I can end the cartouche my berry so but what I would love to do because I want to make sure that the Star Radio one keeps to itself so anytime I lori bíbá mo máa end it so that màá lè upload there sórí KOIKIMEDIA because àṣemá lọ live lórí KOIKIMEDIA nísìnyí so those of you on the KOIKIMEDIA Oduduwa we're going to end the broadcast but I'm going to come back in just about a few minutes ẹ má bínú sí mi so à ń sọ fún yín pé Nàìjíríà ò ṣiṣẹ́ but ẹ̀ ń dúró kí wọ́n sọ fún yín pé ó máa ṣiṣẹ́ àwọn tó sọ pé ó máa ṣiṣẹ́ yẹn wọ́n mọ̀ pé kò lè ṣiṣẹ́ they know that now they know that vividly well pé kò lè ṣiṣẹ́ ta ló fẹ́ fix Nàìjíríà ẹ̀yin náà sọ fún mi ta ló máa fix ẹ̀ àwọn party kan lélẹ́yìn nísìn every now and then iṣẹ́ party ni pé kó advice àwọn èèyàn wọn how they have to accept and believe that àárín àwọn àti UK kò lè work wọ́n pè wọ́n ní Alba party wọ́n pè wọ́n ní Alba party but Nigerians tẹ́yìn fẹ́ ni pé ẹgbọ́n àwọn táwọn ọkọ̀ ní tọkọ síbà nísìn it is time to break the constitution logjam ìyẹn àwọn Alba party nìyẹn we will come here ẹ jẹ́ kó máa fi Nàìjíríà kó máa fi tù wá jẹ easy ó ní 1983 or 84 lòun ti bèrè question pé ṣá lè unite ṣá nílùú yìí a country where there is so much division and we are telling lies we tell lies so mo fẹ́ lo laptop yìí I haven't used it for a very long time so I'm going to go live from this laptop pẹ̀lú I don't know how it's going to hold so wọn kò bó aláṣẹrí kárí laptop gidi rajàre so tẹ́lẹ̀ Yorùbá ní ṣiṣẹ́ ká wá solution sí mo kí wọ́n tẹ́ ń wò wá káàkiri wọn so ẹ̀rọ pàwọ́ máa give up ni tí gbogbo èèyàn bá give up kò ń ṣerú KOIKIMEDIA nítorí ẹ̀kẹ́ mọ nìyẹn àwa ti takú ìgbà tó fẹ́ bọ́ sí nìkan là mọ̀ mọ́ nísìn because a lot of you ọmọ Yorùbá ni mo bá sọ̀rọ̀ talking to Yorùbá people you love your oppressors. Yeah, it's still the same problem. Yeah, I'm still having the same problem. So I'm just going to use this. So I'm going to stress around. So if you tell me about shedding on it, still the same problem. So I just can't do iPad. So àbọ̀rọ̀ mọ̀ yẹ́ nísìn. Má worry ara yín o. Mr. Koiki, ìgbà ló máa bọ́ sí Yorùbá Nation yẹn. Ẹlẹ́mí àtúmọ̀ ní àgbọ̀n kankan máa ìbẹ́ ń gbọ́ tí nǹkan lọ ní Nàìjíríà bí àṣẹ ń jẹ yín ẹgbọ́n kan tí rí wà ní sọ and economics ẹ̀wọ́n tó kọ́ máa sọ̀rọ̀ solution ni pé kí gbogbo wa ká sọ fáwọn olóṣèlú wa pé Nàìjíríà yóò work fún wa but it has to be on one voice kò ń ṣe páwà kan máa ní afẹ́ lọ ẹ̀yìn kan máa ní kí ni ìdí tẹ̀sẹ̀ fẹ́ lọ ẹlòmíà tún máa béèrè pé kí ni reason abin ìwọ tó wà ní Nàìjíríà torí ìwọ tó wà ní Nàìjíríà tó máa ń béèrè pé kí ni reason tẹ̀sẹ̀ fẹ́ lọ ìwọ gan ló yẹ kó máa sọ pé a fẹ́ lọ. The Pogue star Shane McGraw, best known for Christmas Eid fairy tale of New York, dies at 65. Ilé ayé ti tán nìyẹn ó ti parí life nìyẹn kọ́lọ̀ fọ́run kẹ́ 65. Ṣé gbọ́ deny us Kanu mandate we will ignite crisis NNPP tells ECOWAS mo ti láì ilé ilé ẹ̀ka fi sọ̀rọ̀ irú nǹkan tí mo fẹ́ lélẹ̀ àdúrà tèmi lójoojúmọ́ ni pé èyí tó máa jẹ́ kó ṣe kí ni kó mọ̀ ní lo wọ́ọ̀dì kankan tí bá lórí sí ẹ̀lẹ́ máa kọ́ èyí tó máa jẹ́ kó hit lèmi máa ń fẹ́ Nàìjíríà gbogbo tó máa jẹ́ kó hit up òun làdúrà tèmi lójoojúmọ́ sí tó kàn mí. Mr. Koiki rọ̀rọ̀ bẹ́yẹn ọ̀dá problem ti ẹni ẹ kò ń ṣe problem tèmi lọ rìpọ́ọ̀tì mi tí èèyàn bá tẹ́ lọ́rùn ìbí kúkú kọ́ mo sọ nísìn wọ́n náà máa ignite àwọn náà tó gbádùn àwọn kíá ẹmọ̀ pàwà là ń ṣe innocenti àwa ní àfẹ́ kí nǹkan dàrú, because àwa irọ́ ti pọ̀ jù fáwa. We are not ready yet. Ó rà ń pé lè ní kí n tẹ̀ lógan sef as my headline. It is time to break the constitutional logjam. Okay, so what I'm going to do, so I'm going to cut it a little bit. Ẹ wá miracle. Ẹ wá ẹni tó máa gbàdúrà fún Nàìjíríà, tó máa wá change Nàìjíríà. Ṣẹ́yìn fi ìpá àwọn olóṣèlú yẹn àdúrà lè touch heart wọn kọ́ ṣe ń táwa ń fẹ́. No, ẹ̀yin náà ẹ̀bì lọ́wọ́ ara yín. Ṣèbí gbogbo wọn lọ ní àwọn pásítọ̀ tó ń gbàdúrà fún wọn, tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ fún wọn, wọn láfà, wọn ní babaláwo, gbogbo nǹkan lọ ní, máa ẹ̀kọ́ fúlẹ̀. 3-1 làwọn olóṣèlú máa ń ṣe. Kódà wọ́n lọ sí ìlú mi gan tó lọ ń gba agbára gan sẹ́. Wọ́n lọ sí ìlú mi tó lọ ń gba agbára. Wá ní káwa àwa mẹ̀kúnnù, àwa máa wá tò sábẹ́ wọn. God of, I don't want to bring any religion into the conversation. Break the constitution. Because ìgbà yẹn lè máa rí mú nísìn pé ó máa dàbí àtẹ́ pé yàn hate religion kan ni. Ìbílẹ̀ ṣe máa ń sọ fún yín, èmi ò ń ṣe religious bigot. So mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta lèmi believe in. Problem ti ẹnìyẹn tí wọ́n bá believe in mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta. Èmi ọmọ 40 years old, ìyẹn kan gbọ́dọ̀ sọ parọ́ kan fún mi níbi tí ilé ayé dé nísìn. At 40+, kí ni ọ̀kan sọ fún mi pé Christianity nìkan ló máa gbéyàn dé heaven. Ta ló lọ 7 tó padà dé rí? Kí ni ọ̀kan sọ fún mi pé tó bá ké wákàtí 5 ò ní rọ́nà lọ. Tí bá gba ìtẹ́ ẹni náà. Tí ọ̀kan sọ pé ìṣẹ̀ṣe nìkan gan sef, irọ́ náà ni gbogbo ẹ̀. Ìta kan sọ ni pé ìṣẹ̀ṣe àwa la nìyẹn. Tradition wa nìyẹn. O lè wá máa ṣe ìṣẹ̀ṣe kó máa tún kírun. Má kírun tó bá ń ṣe ìṣẹ̀ṣe o. Àtàn rẹ̀. Ìyá jẹ bótò sí lára. Ìwọ ọmọ táwọn church ń ṣe lábẹ́lẹ̀. A ti tan YouTube wa nísìn. So ẹ̀yin tèmi, àwa wà níbí o, àwa ò lọ́bi kankan. Ibi tèmi takú sí ni mo wà yìí. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, come back to Nigeria. Ẹlòmíà ní come back to Nigeria, let us do it together. Ìgbà tí mo wá kí lẹ́jọ́ bá mi ṣe. Ìgbà tí mo wá kí lájọ ṣe. Don't ní kí n come back to Nigeria. Ṣòwòrẹ́ wà Nigeria. Ẹni tó bá need any assistant tó ẹ lọ sí sọ́dọ̀ Ṣòwòrẹ́. Mr. Koiki, I personally interviewed a lot of people in Ibadan last year. They are not ready yet. Russian one of my craft. Èèyàn márùn-ún máa wà níbẹ̀ tí tọ́ máa rùn gbòòlà. Tọ́ máa pàk ara wọn bí sardine. Àwọn bí márùn-ún lọ́ máa wà ní my craft yẹn. So ẹlòmíì ìyà ò jẹ́ àwa la kàn pity wọn. Àwa là ń pity most of you. Ìyà ò jẹ́ púpọ̀ nù wọn. Ìyà ò jẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá as far as I'm concerned. Ìyà ò tí ì jẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá. So gbogbo yẹn Mr. Koiki wọ́n pa wá, wọ́n ṣe kíní kan. Nothing concern me. Ìyà ò jẹ́ yín now. So you're all doing very well. You're all living very good. So ìbẹ́ ń gbé ayé tó dáa. Mo kí ọ̀nà ẹ̀kásán láti United Arab Emirates. Tinubu máa ti wà lọ́dọ̀ yín, ẹ jẹ́ lọ kí Tinubu. Ìjọba ta ló mú kí ẹ jẹ́ lọ kí Tinubu. Tinubu wà pẹ̀lú King Charles. Àwọn méjèèjì ló wà níbàyí nínú picture mi lẹ́yìn YouTube mi. Ẹ̀ ń dúró káwọn ilé sọ̀tọ̀ fún yín. Ẹ̀yin dúró kí Prince Charles sọ fún yín pé ká pín Nàìjíríà, orí yín ò pé. Ẹ dúró pẹ́pẹ́. Ẹ fi ìpọ́n máa sọ fún yín pé go and break Nigeria. Kí ni kan Prince Charles pẹ̀lú pé kẹ́ break Nigeria? Ẹ lọ ṣe tí ní kí n ṣe láàárọ̀ yìí. Gbogbo òtútù ló wọnú ara mi lánàá. Ẹ rí pé wàhálà tá a bá ń ṣe ti bá wà níta, no be small thing. Ẹ̀rẹ̀ náà kọ́ rẹ̀ pé yàn jókòó sínú ilé. Iṣẹ́ lè yò níṣẹ́ ni. Iṣẹ́ tí mo ṣe lánàá nísìn, iṣẹ́ 5 days mo lọ ṣe lánàá yẹn. Tẹ́ bá mọ̀, iṣẹ́ pé mo kọ̀ra jáde lánàá yẹn is like a 5-day job. So, and that's why tí bá wà nílé, we take advantage, we do what we have to do. But àbá ti wà níta, we do what we have to do again. Wọ́n á dúró pé yàn kan máa ràn wá lọ́wọ́. Kò sẹ́ni kankan tó ń bọ̀ ràn ẹni kankan lọ́wọ́, àwa la máa ràn wa lọ́wọ́. Ẹ máa kí yàn kan fún ní pé yàn kan ń bọ̀ ràn yàn kankan lọ́wọ́. Ẹ forget ẹ o, àṣírí mo gé fún wa o. So yes, we continue to pray and we continue to ask for peace. But èmi ò mọ̀ bí a ṣe fẹ́ rí peace nínú tí ebi ti ń pa àwọn èèyàn rẹpẹtẹ nísìn. Mo ti plead pẹ̀lú àwọn governors. Mo ti bẹ̀ wọ́n kọjọ kọ́kọ́ oúnjẹ jáde. Bí owó náà lọ fi oúnjẹ náà tó pa director yẹn ní sanlọ́ ló mọ̀. Inside job ní ṣáyẹn náà. inside job ni. Director of finance tó náà pa yẹn. Na inside job now. Everybody knows now. Those are like inside job now. Ọ̀pá ilé lẹ́ni ìdáná ni. So, mama worry mi pè mí. Má ti wà ní iṣẹ́ tèmi máa ń ṣe, má ti ó ti di bárakú, má ti get used. Bàbá mi bá ní sorry you are really try, but Allah give you more strength. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, ó fún wa ní strength ẹ̀ náà ni. Táwa ti ṣàárẹ̀, tí bá ti ń jí lójoojúmọ́, tí mo ní any pain lára mi, àwọn báṣẹ́ lọ ni. Iṣẹ́ Yorùbá Nation ṣe iṣẹ́ jọ̀pọ̀n. Ká bá gba country náà gan ṣe kò ní sí continuity. Ojoojúmọ́ kọ́ là ń takò wọn nílùú iná. Ẹ rò pé ìlú iná kò sí wọn ní problem. Wọ́n ní problem tó pọ̀. Wọ́n ní problem tó pọ̀ náà. Àwọn náà ń resolve problem wọn ni. Ojoojúmọ́ ló ń ṣe amendment. Ojoojúmọ́ ló ń ṣe tó máa make nǹkan easy fún gbogbo àwa tá wà ní abroad. So àbọ̀rọ̀ mọ̀ yé yín nísìn. So kò sí bí kan pé kìíní, you know. So everywhere náà ló ní problem tiẹ̀. Láwa náà ṣe ní problem níbí ìbàdàn náà ní problem nílé náà. Àbọ̀rọ̀ mọ̀ yé yín nísìn. Mo kí Mr. Bashir, Mr. Peter Uchenna. And though I go Yoruba, bínú, na Yoruba people they talk to, so in case you don't hear what I'm saying, if I did, but you can sit down and listen. Àwọn Yoruba gangan ni mo bá sọ̀rọ̀. So, because Yoruba gangan ló ń jìyà. Àwa là ń jìyà náà. Wọ́n náà wà lá di Nàìjíríà mú. Àbí nǹkan tó ń sọ fún akọ́ni, àwa dẹ̀ là ń jìyà. So kò yé mi. Wàá ṣeré jàre Gani Olóyèdé. Akínládé, bàbá mi máa ń lọ àwọn kí wọ́n kéwàá àwọn prophet wa. You know. Grandma Awoniyi, ṣàlàáfíà lẹ́wà mà. Mo kí dáadáa. Ǹbọ̀ mo fẹ́. So, you know, tá bá ń sọ fáwọn èèyàn wa pé things are not working in that country. Kí gbogbo wa ká wà lójú kan so that ká lè ṣe kíni, ká lè move, you know, motion. Ká move motion pé do we want to remain in Nigeria or do we want to exit? But the same people that we are talking to, they pa laptop Alienware yìí kò kúkú ṣiṣẹ́ dáadáa bí ti tẹ́lẹ̀ mọ́. Ó ti work ti ní ìdàbúrò. Àti rẹ̀ ni fún wa lówó pé Mr. Koiki kọ́tẹ̀ náà máa rà fún wa. Ṣé mọ̀ pé nǹkan ta fi ń bá gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì fa wàhálà nìyẹn láti ìjọ ìnísìn àríṣe. So tí nǹkan bá dẹ̀ ti fẹ́ máa stress ìyẹn máa gbé sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ ni. Ìyẹn la ṣe ń lo mobile phone fi ṣe broadcast láti ìjọ ẹ̀. Aṣáàdúpẹ́ fọ́lọ́run àwọn kúrò lójú kan. So níta bá ṣe mí a ṣe máa fi ṣe program. At least tẹ́ bá ti ń rí mi kékeré ní ìtókù. Mo kàn fẹ́ kẹ́ máa rí in tí àwọn kan like ni orí olókun yẹn. Àwọn ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì náà wọ́n like orí olókun. Crime a ṣe máa lọ sókè gan. Crime ò lè tán ní Nàìjíríà. Èèyàn kan ní good to see you Mr. Koiki. Ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń tẹ̀lé wa ní ẹ̀rí wa rí. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò sá. Mr. Perry. And how are you doing? Òtútù ti dé gan. Wàláì. Mo bọ́ta láàárọ̀ ẹ̀. Everywhere cold ni. Everywhere cold. Èmi ò fẹ́ kí ọ̀kan kí mi o. Kákọ̀ kíra wa pé Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kí a tètè gbọ́. That's all. You know, Mr. Koiki ẹ kú iṣẹ́. Ẹ̀ka kí Elédùmarè. Tèmi ò bá ṣe Ọlọ́run tún gbéyàn tó dájú èmi lágbé dìde. Wàláì tàlá ìsúnmọ́ bí láì làzílà rúwà. Ọlọ́run gbé lómi dìde. So it's just that it is what it is. Ìbé mi tẹ̀ ní time ni. Ẹlòmíràn gbogbo àwọn mídíà mi ò lè ṣe tèmi ṣe because wọ́n ní láti lọ síbi iṣẹ́. Self-employed lèmi. Self-employed. Ẹni tó bá dẹ̀ ń ṣe self-employed, òun gan lẹ́yìn kó lọ máa wá bó ṣe máa rí owó tó pọ̀. Ó dà pé púpọ̀ ní yàn mọ̀. Ẹni tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ self-employed bí èmi ṣe ń ṣe because mo ní paycheck every month. Abẹ́rẹ́ pé mo ní paycheck ni. Mo ní paycheck. I don't have a paycheck. Mo rẹ̀ wà nílùú tó ní opportunity. So ta ló bá wà ní ìgboro kó máa lọ wá bó ṣe fi make owó. Ìtẹ̀kẹ́yìn máa rò nìyẹn. But sometimes you have to sacrifice for something. And we appreciate as many of our viewers around the world. Mr. Koiki lẹ́ǹkankan ẹgbà níbẹ̀. Àwọn kan ní sí wọn ẹlòmíì mọ paycheck ẹ̀ náà. Ẹlòmíì ní target ìgbà tí wọ́n kọ́ dé ní 1998. Mo mọ target tí mò ń lé every month. Pé iye báyìí ló gbọ́dọ̀ wọlé fún mi every month. Àwọn sisters mi, family friend wa kan tí mo náà ṣẹ̀ dé on the COS, COS ló ń pe kíní yẹn, COS. You know, I'm just going to be dabbling more on the topic, so I'm just going to be dabbling around. So, you know, if it's in mind, maybe I'll learn it's going to cost them £1,900 every month. Owó lé má ṣì lọ sí Nàìjíríà torí Nàìjíríà kọ́ ló ti ń pawó yẹn, ibà ló ti ń pawó. Mo kí àwa Bọ́sẹ̀dé. So má ṣe owó yẹn lọ sí Nàìjíríà torí Nàìjíríà kọ́ ló ti ń pawó yẹn, ibà ló ti ń pawó yẹn. So, you know, má gbowó yẹn lọ sí Nàìjíríà. Ẹlòmíì ní sáà bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí multiply 1,400 by 1,009. But that shows the kind of country that we are living. It's expensive. London expensive gan. Díẹ̀ tẹ̀ gbé lọ sí náírà, èlò ló bọ́ sí láàárọ̀ yìí. Calculator mi dà. But bíbà lọ ti ń paṣú yẹn. So ẹni tó ń pawó ní bíbà, o lè sọ fún pé owó ilé yẹn wọ́n, tó bá wọ́n kó lọ sí outside London, kó lọ máa gbé ní outside London ní Manchester. One in Asaba, DSP was killed by fake EFCC in his house when they realized he's an officer. So 1,900 láàárọ̀ nísìn, pound sterling new times 1,000 for lówó. Mo kíyà mi, you know, my mom might still be sleeping because she sleeps very late. Kásẹ̀ sọ pé 1,004. Ọmọ ohun ẹ̀dínyàn kan san lówó lé ní London ní South East lọ́wọ́ àbọ̀mọ̀ ní sọ́fítọ́ wà ní South East. Lè dá wọn mọ̀ anyway tẹ́ bá rí wọn mọ̀ wọn anyway sí. 2.6 million lówó lé ní London every month. But it's because of the economy. Nínú ẹ̀ wọ́n make owó yẹn if they know what they are doing. So, and these are people that will not have access to any benefit because tó bá wá sí ìlú yìí on that kind of scheme, o lè apply for benefit kankan. Èmi gan tí mo wà ń lò ìgbọ̀n fún mi benefit, à ń bọ̀ sí ìwọ tó ṣe dé. Àfẹ́n tó bá ní indefinite stay àbí tó bá ní British passport ló lè o lè get away with but ìwọ tó bá yẹ pé wọ́n ní you don't have a right to public recourse, o ṣẹ̀dé láti Nàìjíríà, o wá fẹ́ máa lọ dọ́gbọ́n sí, tó bá ti gbé ẹ wá ṣẹ̀wọ̀n ni. Jésù kankan ní gbẹ̀lẹ̀, ànábì kankan ní gbẹ̀lẹ̀, tó bá ti ṣe crime nílùú o máa lọ ṣẹ̀wọ̀n ni, o máa ṣẹ̀wọ̀n ni, kò sí àní-àní níbẹ̀. O mọ iye àdúrà tó máa ti ṣe fún kékeré màdò, o mọ iye ẹran tó máa pa, o mọ iye gbogbo tó máa ṣe. Ọbásanjọ́ gan ọba bẹ̀bẹ̀ wọ̀dà Ọbásanjọ́ lóhùn, ó ń ṣẹ̀wọ̀n lọ́wọ́ nísìnyí, but ó bẹ́tà ju owó tó wà Nàìjíríà lọ ọlọ́mọ ìṣeré. Èèyàn kan gbàdúrà pé kọ́lọ́ kíyàn lọ ṣẹ̀wọ̀n ni. Ẹni tó wà ní Nàìjíríà presently báyìí, mo sọ gbogbo yín o, kọ́lá bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ nísìnyí, àwọn kan ṣoríire dáadáa tó yẹ pé, you know, big boys ni wọ́n, big girls, they do very well. Well, they are not into crime. But the basic ọmọ Nàìjíríà lẹ́ni, òun ṣe pé mo fi ń dẹnu tó bá wà ní UK prison or better off. I know it's not a kind of something to kíyàn fi juggle together, but that is a fact. Because UK prison, ó máa jẹun ẹ̀mẹ́ta lójúmọ́, ó máa jẹ fruit, ó máa ṣe exercise, ó máa wà nínú warmth. Ọmọ tó ń pè ní warmth. Wàá ṣe ọkọ ya Fọláyàn. Ọmọ tó ń pè ní warmth. Tó tútù ṣe mú báyìí nísìn, ìkékeré máa dùn gbọ́dọ̀ wà nínú ibi tó máa warm, òtútù ò gbọ́dọ̀ mú. Kódà ó tún lọ opportunity láti kàwé nínú prison free. Ó ní opportunity láti ṣe training so that because prison is meant to reform. Prison ò ń ṣe pé wọ́n kóyàn lọ sínú prison pé ó máa wà níbẹ̀. Grammar comfort inú máa ní free wifi. Mo mọ̀ kẹ́ wà lórí ètò grammar tó ní, mo dẹ̀ ti gbọ́ tí grammar bá mi sọ̀rọ̀ ní last 2 weeks, mo dẹ̀ ti mọ́rọ̀ wọn sọ, àwọn ọ̀gbọ́dọ̀ bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ ká má gbọ́. Wọ́n ti ní Koiki, wọ́n ṣáà máa bá wa sọ̀rọ̀. Àwọn tó kó nǹkan kéékèèké tó máa ń sọ yẹn, ìwọ má máa tún sọ yẹn mọ́. Ṣí wa létí, bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀, join it together. Àwọn gbádùn program ẹ̀ torí ó yàtọ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, journalist ni mí. Ọmọ náà ń pè journalist ni. Grammar ni ẹ máa ní free wifi. So the question is, kò ń ṣe pé a pray fún ẹ̀wọ̀n fún ẹ̀yin kankan. Èmi náà pray pé kíyàn lọ sí ẹ̀wọ̀n, but tíyàn bá lo ẹ̀wọ̀n tó bá yẹ pé nǹkan tó ṣe, ó máa reform ẹni, but tó bá yẹ pé ó pààyàn, ò ní jáde lẹ́wọ̀n yẹn o. Kí ni ìyá mi Grandma Grace Olúṣòtò kan, Grandma làwọn náà. Kí n máa tẹ̀ ní Grandma ni, ìdí máa kàn la arúkọ mọ́ yín pé ìyá wa Grace Olúṣòtò, Grandma lẹ́yìn náà nà. Mo ṣáà rí ìyá ẹ̀ wá sí Nàìjíríà, àjọ ń káàkiri nìbàdàn. Mo ní Grandma, mo ní Then ọmọ yín ṣe bímọ ni kẹ́ máa tọ́jú ọ̀ní Koiki má bẹ́ẹ̀ já o ṣé kẹ́yìn wá máa lọ sí rally kébì máa jókòó sílé wàhálà ìyá ẹ̀dẹ̀ máa kó sí ṣòkòtò wọ́n gbé grandchildren sílẹ̀ nìbàdàn àjọ káàkiri mo ń sọ fún ìyàwó mi lánàá mo ní sọ details ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn because it's not for àwọn sọ̀rọ̀ kọ mo ń sọ fún ìyàwó mi pé àwọn èèyàn mọ wàhálà táwọn boys mi ń ṣe ní nàìjíríà wà láìtàláì sí wọn wìlà nàìjíríà ló lè rányàn níṣẹ́ accident kan lè ṣẹlẹ̀ tó lè pàdánù. I get scared every now and then because of the motorway in Nigeria. Títì yàn dá rárá. Títì bá da mọ́tò tó wà lẹ́yìn ẹ̀ kò ní break. Ní Kwara, ó dà kí mo rí news yẹn lẹ́ẹ̀kan mo ń bọ̀. Mo kàn float ni o, ní topic o, so ó better than pé kí ṣáà máa wà live. So kí n jọ kó fi relax ni, because àná yẹn òtútù tó mú mi lánàá yẹn kò ṣe. Even though pé mo wọ thermal mo gbé jacket, mo dira bí bàbá sùwé ni. Pẹ̀lú ìtánì òtútù máa ó máa rí bì kan penetrate atẹ́gùn ni a rí bì kan tó máa kọ́lọ́kọ́lọ́ tó máa wò tó bígbà tí kìíní wọnú bọ́dì ni ẹ̀yin tẹ́wà lórí KOIKIMEDIA Odùduwà mo ní láti lọ gbé laptop mi wá because iPad yìí kò strong ó máa kú so máa lọ sókè lọ gbé another system wa ẹ jẹ́ n wo gbogbo mo ti rí news yẹn Kwara State ẹ jẹ́ n padà sí Punch there was an accident that led to about 25 lele Nigeria ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ń lé Ọlọ́run ló ń fi ṣọ́ ẹ̀ṣọ́ yín wallahi Mr. Koiki Nigeria road itself is not to talk about olele ni mo ka yín wà wájú mi lẹ́ni ni mo sọ you Channels Television I mean website one 25 people killed in Kwara in famous as tanker truck crash. Mo ti ń gbé nílùú yìí for 25 years. Mo máa ń jẹ́ kẹ́yìn tẹ́ wà ń lé mọ̀ pé ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ tó ń bẹ nílùú yìí náà ó dẹ́rù bàyàn. So èmi ò fẹ́ fún yín ní impression mo kí ẹ Qualitech my brother. Irú àwọn yẹn nísìn technology ló yẹ kó máa fi sọ pé tanker tó ń fẹ́ jáde I'm sure he's into tech because into fi ń lo tech yẹn. Irú àwọn yẹn lè fi technology send the signal sínú tanker yẹn tó máa lọ́kẹ̀ ìlú yìí. Ṣẹ̀rá àwọn truck ńláńlá tó ń drive yẹn agent àlàyé nǹkan fún yín technology ti lọ́gán Nigerians wake up Ọlọ́run tí driver yẹn bá drive kọjá hours ẹ ṣe gan ìyá mi Comfort Ológunjà wọ́n ti ju nǹkan kan wọlé wọ́n ní God help us we will not experience prison láṣẹ̀dùn bẹ́ẹ̀ ni it's not something I pray for I don't pray for anybody mo kàn ń sọ pé the Nigeria prison òun nínú Nigeria but UK prison is like ẹni tó ń gbé normal life ní Nigeria ìyàtọ̀ kan ni pé prison is just going to take away your right. Night out, o máa lọ sùn. Good morning, o máa jí. Kò dẹ̀ sí pé mo fẹ́ lọ kí grandma, mo ń lọ ra bread. Inú prison yẹn ló máa wà tó máa fi parí sentence ẹ̀. Ìyàtọ̀ tó wà níbẹ̀ nìyẹn. But ní Nigeria is a different thing entirely. Ìbéèrè tí ó yẹ kí a béèrè ni pé in 25 years tèmi ti gbé ìlú yìí o. Ṣé mo gbọ́ pé tanker farm kan jóná? Àbí petrol mo rò pé mo gbọ́ rí tanker tó káwọn náà sì máa move epo kó tó wá dispense epo petrol station wà ládùúgbò mi wọ́n máa wá ń dispense epo but mo ever gbọ́ rí pé tanker kan ṣubú ó wá explode tanker milk ti ṣubú rí o àwọn kan kò tanker epo where do we start from ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ní ká fix Nigeria à ń bí láàárọ̀ yìí níbo ni ká ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ibo ni gangan ni ká ti mú okay a fẹ́ fix Nigeria ẹ wá sọ fún mi ibo la máa ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ okay lówó táwọn politicians yẹn ní láti compete pẹ̀lú wọn èmi ò mọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ń lúro owó yẹn o because irú gbogbo wa báyìí nísìn tẹ bá ní ó da Koiki wọ́n náà tẹ wá jáde mo dẹ̀ sọ fún mi pé tẹ bá rí mi nínú politics Nigeria ọmọ èmi náà lọ jẹ tèmi ní o kàríkà chop ní o a jẹ tiẹ̀ wá kúrò ń bẹ̀ gbogbo àwọn tó jẹ lábẹ́ Buhari nísìn àwọn ẹran tí bọ̀bọ̀ photographer yẹn àwọn yẹn wọ́n ti wà okay government African country government wọn ló corrupt jù ò ní account mo ka story kan lọ́dọ̀ Fisayo good gan gbogbo ilẹ̀ mọ̀ Fisayo ta ló mọ̀ Fisayo is a journalist as well very very good guy ó good gan ni tí bá níyàn good ó good ni ẹni tó bá good yẹn ó gbé story kan jáde ní last week báwo lẹni tó ní restaurant ní Nàìjíríà l'Abuja òun ló wá gbé contract lọ fix school lọ fix kinní kan lábẹ́ Buhari wọ́n kàn award the contract fúnra wọn ni. Now tẹ́yìn bá wá ní Mr. Koiki àwa náà lè beat wọn. Number one, ṣé a nírú owó yẹn? Ẹgbọ́n tán ní Fáyọ̀ṣe láàárọ̀ yìí nínú news tí mò ń kà òun àtọba ní kòrò ní 2014 what transport 1.2 billion naira lọ sékìtì láti fi ṣe election. Ẹ rántí ibo ni Dasuki wà Sambo crime ti pọ̀ jù mélòó la fi rántí níbo ni Dasuki wà? Ẹ rántí Dasuki gate ẹ rántí yẹn mọ́ náà because àtúntò ń sọ̀rọ̀ Buhari ilé tí ń sọ pé àádá mo charge ẹjẹ́ ń sáré fi sínú náà nígbà tí mo sínú Nàìjíríà ẹjẹ́ ń sáré máa charge. Ibo ni Dasuki wà? Dasuki gate. How many of us remember Dasuki gate? Wọ́n ti jẹ Nàìjíríà pa. Nàìjíríà lẹ́nu ní Koiki fi wá sílẹ̀. Ṣèbí wọ́n kọ́ ló ń jẹ ìwọ ṣáwà London ṣáà ni wọ́n wà wàhálà ṣe wá pọ̀ báyìí ní tẹ́ ń sọ fún mi nìyẹn o ẹni wàhálà mi ṣe wá pọ̀ báyìí ní kébù mi wà kọ́sìkò tó lè pé yẹn máa kú ṣé à ń rí Prince Charles àti Jagaban ẹni tẹ́ wà lórí YouTube KOIKIMEDIA. Prince Charles náà wà ní Dubai òun like climate kìíní ọba wa níbí báyìí ni o ìmọ̀dẹ́mà ní God bless the king nítorí bá wọn ní kí wọ́n sọ ibà ilé mi gbé so ẹ má bínú ẹ̀ta wà níbẹ̀ mo ní láti ìwọ lè bu èmi ò láǹfààní àti lè bọ́ ọba àwọn bọ́ba níbí báyìí o so ìwọ tó ń gbé níbí báyìí má ní Koiki kí ló dé tó wá ń kí ọba yín bẹ̀ yẹn àwọn kí ibà ilé mi gbé mo dẹ̀ ní freedom ọba ilé ló jẹ́ kí n ní freedom because ọba wọ́n ń ṣiṣẹ́ fún ọba ni àwọn olóṣèlú ti wá ń bì báyìí so mo ti ń charge kámẹ́rà yẹn máa tàn padà nísìn mo ní mo fẹ́ lọ ṣe sí lẹ́ǹkan mo tó tún gbàgbé mo kí lẹ́ǹkan sí ọba níkòrò is talking under thief okay kámẹ́rà ti padà báyìí àbúrò mo yẹ nísìnyí yan wa so in tí mo kàn fẹ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká padà sí Kwara State again 25 people were killed nítorí tanker crash. The petrol tanker was traveling from Niger State. Used the wrong side of the road. Okay, Baba Ibrahim Shitu. One petrol tanker, which is very common in Nigeria, is not something that is good. You know, you drive through the opposite road. It's very, very risky. Very, very risky. I will be stupid not to say that, you know, drive against the, you know, the opposite drive. I asked them where is wrong, but traffic like Okada. Now 25 they say 25 persons lost their lives while about 15 others sustained varying degrees of injury in a fire disaster at Bode Sadu, Imoro local government area of Kwara State. It was gathered that the fire incident occurred when a petrol tanker with registration number JJM17XW, heavy-duty truck, and an 18-seater bus collide at about 3:18 p.m. on Wednesday at Peke village along Oke Olowo Bode Sadu Expressway in Moro local government. You can imagine. Number one, why should a tanker drive in that opposite direction? Heavy load. I don't know. You know, I don't know. So we can just say, God help us, and we're going to help ourselves. So now, Ejakala story àwọn NNPC àbí NNPP dẹni. Full story. The leadership of the New Nigerian People's Party has said that denying the party its mandate in Kano State would lead to a crisis that would extend beyond Nigeria to other African countries. Should we be concerned with such statement? Should we be concerned Let's read further. And I can tell you that this is a story that has been published on Daily Trust. Daily Trust says, denying us Kano mandate will ignite crisis. Good morning, every one of you that have joined us. Press readers are denying us Kano mandate will ignite crisis. So please, Emma Koiki ló sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ o, because I know nígbà tẹ́ bá máa gbé nísìn ibi tẹ́mi bá sọ ẹnìkan lẹ máa cut. Ìyá wa Margaret Ibijoke Ekaro Grandma. Why Nigerian politician goes abroad to join others that are working tirelessly for peace and prosperity of their countries? Well, I believe these elites are very heartless. Punch is up way. NMPP petition EU and ECOWAS. I'm a waste time around. Mo fi máa gbọ́ petition EU àti ECOWAS. Ṣé mo pé EU tá ń sọ yìí? Ẹ jẹ́ n ṣàlàyé EU yẹn fún yín ká tó move away from there. Kí ló ń pè ní EU? Tá bá ní EU nísìn tí bá sọ pé EU, I say EU. What does it mean? How many people knows the meaning of EU? Ẹ má parọ́. Okay, let me put it this way. If you know the meaning of EU, so yes. If you don't know, just say no. Idea. Look, this is a platform that you can educate yourself, and take it to the bank. I won't be able to say. How many people knows the meaning of EU? Yes, I know. No, Mr. KOIKIMEDIA. Okay, some people are saying yes. In African Union. Wow. Moki grammar, Dupa Bola. So you can put lower the broadcast. So kí la wá ń ṣe program fún bí akin kókó pa. If guys, ẹ bá respond now. Ẹ bẹ́ẹ̀ wò mí. Tí bá pa nísìnyí kúkú ní wò mí mọ́. Èmi á dẹ̀ máa lọ ṣe tí mo fẹ́ ṣe. How many people knows the meaning of EU? Okay. Gani Olóyèdé látijọ́ ètò tí wà lórí program mi. That's not good of you. What ti wà lórí program mi ti pẹ́ now? No, I don't know. Okay. Yes. Okay. So people are responding. Okay. Èmi ò mọ̀ Ibrahim Shitunu. Look, I'm not here to bá sọ pé ó mọ̀. Àkókò náà yín lẹ́gbàá. We are not going to beat you. Thank you so much, Supreme. Ukwa. Yẹn mo mọ̀ bó ṣe gbọ́ Yorùbá gan sẹ́, because that name doesn't sound a Yoruba name. But it seems you understand what I'm saying. Yes, I know. Okay. Easy Moke, Yawa Comfort. Okay, so it's European Union. So bí a tó bá yẹ pé mo sọ pé European Union, many of you will know. All right, now. Charity, our politicians were tó bá ní is European Union. It's just the short, abbreviation is called EU. So most of the time, the bank paper Nigeria, tó bá ń sọ pé EU, and rántí pé during the election, only the EU observer were in Nigeria. What they are saying is that 27 member states will make up in the European Union, which is called EU. 27 member states. Kí ló ń pè ní state? State is a place where àwọn tó wà níbẹ̀. Nigeria, as it is right now, is not a nation. But this state, our member state, èdè kan náà lọ́jọ́ ń sọ, ìwà kan náà lọ́jọ́ ń wù. Each of the state ni mo sọ yìí. But what they've now done is they've come together as one block, because ìyẹn ló lè jẹ́ kó ní agbára. Just like bí Nigeria náà ṣe wà lábẹ́ ìtànpé ní AU, ìyẹn ní African Union. Now, tí ẹ ṣe gan-an gbogbo ẹni tẹ́ bá wa dá sí, thanks so much. We love you, we appreciate you. Because just, so like a man rò pé ghost lambara wa sọ níbí báyìí. Ẹ bá mi jù síta, okay, then jù síta fúnra mi, because tí easy bá ti ń béèrè pé òun nídìí kankan. Mama ẹ kó pẹ́ kó má lọ gbàgbé ẹ̀wọ̀n kó ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú lè mi mo dẹ̀ láìkó owó gan. So now táwọn Nigerians bá wá sọ pé a máa report Nigeria fún EU. What they are saying is that a fẹ́ report Nigeria fún 27 members to represent the European Union. Ìbéèrè tó yẹ ká wá máa bi these Nigerians politicians is that Kanu fúnra rẹ̀ Kanu a lè yọ kí má exaggerate too much, because I don't know the landmark and the people, but ẹ mọ̀ ká lè yọ ìlú mẹ́ta tó jẹ́ member EU kúrò nínú Kanu. Ìlú mẹ́ta ni mo sọ, country mẹ́ta tó abàdẹ̀ kó yàn sínú ẹ̀ wàá dẹ̀ máa ṣèjọba tiwọn nínú Kánò yẹn a lè yọ mẹ́ta tó jẹ́ ọmọ member state European countries and I can give you names and the figures. Okay, give and take. Kí ni population Kánò? Mo fẹ́ send kankan sí easy ní ọkọ̀ tó ń ti ń béèrè yẹn nísìnyí kí tó lọ gbàgbé hàn pa ọ̀jẹ̀ bóde àwọn ọmọ Ògùn state à ń fowó ṣeré o so bá dẹ̀ ti ní mo fẹ́ fi hàn ní kankan má jẹ́ kí n lọ gbàgbé jẹ́ sáré send ẹ̀ màá wá lọ kí ni population Kánò ta ló láì díẹ̀ a lè google ẹ̀ population Kánò láàárọ̀ ẹ̀ so Kánò politician wọn sọ pé òun máa lọ report Nàìjíríà ṣebí the other way around lẹ kó jẹ́ ó jẹ́ kí àwọn EU máa wá report ara wọn fún Nàìjíríà tó bá yẹ pé Nàìjíríà jẹ́ ìlú tó dúró dáadáa to operate in a way that ó respect the rule of law ó ní trillions of dollars tó jẹ́ backup money àwa táwa nínú ẹ̀ à ń gbádùn a ní passport yẹ pé tá a bá lẹ̀ anywhere báyìí wà ní ó yá pass through ọmọ Nàìjíríà ló ń lọ yẹn but because Nàìjíríà ò ní value system yẹn là ń sọ because kò ní ẹ má bínú mi tó ń pè ní bíbá let's come out first. Hello? Hello? I'm not buying and I'm not selling. Thanks so much. Àwọn new source call ni. I'm not buying anything. Bó ṣe máa ń ṣe ni àwọn pọ̀ nílùú yìí náà bẹ́ẹ̀. Random calls. Àwọn náà máa ń get it. New source call wà nílùú yìí o. Sometimes they don't know who they're calling. Ẹni tó ń bá mi sọ̀rọ̀ nísìn, mo lè confirm fún yín pé Indian ló ti ń pè mí. Kò sí nílùú yìí o. Wọ́n ti route. Technology ti lọ́gàn. They are nuisance call. Tí bá lọ wo number yẹn nísìn is a nuisance call. Hello? Kí ló dẹ̀ fi ta? Ó lè fi ta energy fún mi. Ó fi ta ọ̀pọ̀ nílùú yìí náà. Ọlọ́run kò ṣàánú. Ibo la sọ̀rọ̀ délé nǹkan. Now, Kánò. A náà fẹ́ wo population Kánò. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo kí ni population Kánò láàárọ̀ yìí. Population. Ó lè má right. Àmọ́ what infiltrated. Kánò, according to the current metro area population of Kánò as of 2023 is 4.3 million. Mo sì dúró lórí pé ẹ lè yọ ìlú mẹ́ta nínú ẹ̀ tó jẹ́ member European Union. Let's see if maybe we can be right or not. So, now fi sínú Google the smallest, no, not country in the world. The smallest country in EU. Ẹ jẹ́ ká wò. Èèyàn mélòó ló mọ̀ ìlú kan tó ń pè ní Malta? Ta ló mọ̀ ìlú tó ń pè ní Malta? Ta ló ti gbọ́ Malta? A ti gbọ́ Malta. Okay, tábà ti gbọ́ no problem. European Union covers over 4 million kilometers. Thanks so much, TK Makeover. It has 448.4 million inhabitants. So Taba joining gbogbo European countries together, they are about 448 million. That means Nigeria is half of that. You can see why we are saying that, oh, ìyá mi abọ́sẹ̀ de grammar, when I was there this year, ìyá ìmá gbádùn gan, ta ló máa ṣiṣẹ́ tó ní lọ gbádùn. Wọ́n jẹ́ kí èmi náà ní time láti máa káàkiri bẹ́ẹ̀. Thanks so much. Now, the whole population European countries, my list gbogbo ẹ̀ fún yín láàárọ̀ again. Wọ́n sọ fún mi according to Google, is about 448.4 million. Just reason, okay, only Malta is just an island close to Spain. Okay, Yami Margaret Ibijokeno, when I was there in 1989. Okay. Wow. Hey, yeah, it travel now. Be mom city, no. Okay, but me triple DRS. Gbogbo yín tí Woolish mo kí yín. Ǹjẹ́ wá mọ̀ pé nínú 448 tàbá ká tẹ̀ sọ pé 400 million give and take ká yọ 48 orí ẹ̀ kúrò. Ṣé mọ̀ pé that is half of Nigeria. How many people knows that? So why then are we forcing ourselves into a union where we can still break away and we can decide that our Yoruba àti àwọn ẹ̀yà tó kù àtúwá lọ ṣe tán pè ní block of another union. Àwa jọ wà nínú ẹ̀. Even Yoruba can still be part of the African Union. And this is where we are having issues with ourselves. Because ẹlòmíì understanding pé Kano wa lọ report ààrẹ. Now, ẹ jẹ́ ká wo the smallest country tó wà níbẹ̀. What are the three largest countries in Europe and what are the smallest? Now, ẹ jẹ́ ká wò. According to the report here, which I want to say, what are the 5 smallest countries in Europe? Okay. According to the report, the Vatican is a big little winner. Then comes Monaco, San Marino, Liechtenstein, finally Andorra. Then we want to find out, maybe we can find the numbers around it as well. So what I'm going to do now is, Malawa one Vatican, Vatican. Vatican. We are learning this morning. It's all about learning. So that kí wọ́n náà wá máa gbé yẹ̀wò pé àwọn ìlú kéékèèké tẹ́ ń dárúkọ yìí ṣé ìlú náà làwọn ilé ìlú ni wọ́n. Vatican population is 829,000. Ẹ̀yọ kúrò nínú 4 million ti àwọn Kano. Ó di mélòó? A sì ní 3 million. Okay? Ẹ jẹ́ ká tún lọ sí the next country. Monaco, ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wò. Monaco yẹn àwọn olówó ló ń gbé níbẹ̀. Àwọn bí Ọ̀tẹ́dọ́lá nílé níbẹ̀. DJ Copy máa ń lọ síbẹ̀ dáadáa. Olówó ó lè gbé ní Monaco tó bá lówó. Mo wá lè sọ bí àwọn díẹ̀díẹ̀ o. Monaco lẹ́ni, Monaco officially, gbogbo population, àwọn èèyàn tẹ̀ pọ̀ rárá. Gbogbo population wọn is 36 million. So that means pé ẹ mọ̀ pé a sì ní leftover fún àwọn tá a bá ń follow mathematics tí mo ṣe láàárọ̀ yìí. 1 million la sì yọ kúrò nínú Kano. So mo ti add the Vatican. Ìyá mi kan fraud ni a lè break Nigeria into 13 countries. Now, nínú 1 million tá yọ, mo kí bàbá wa kí n Ayọ̀délé. Nínú 1 million tá yọ nínú Kano, a sì yọ ìlú la kọ́kọ́ dárúkọ Vatican. A tún tún yọ Monaco. A sì ní leftover díẹ̀ nínú 1 million yẹn. Ẹ jẹ́ ká tún lọ wo the next country. Wọ́n pẹ̀lú kan ní San Marino. Ìwọ tún nìyẹn mi náà máa gbọ́ yẹn rí kẹ́. Ìlú wo ni San Marino? San Marino is a mountainous microstate surrounded by north central Italy. Among the world's oldest republic, it retained much of its historical architecture. On the slopes of Monte Titano sits the capital, also called San Marino, known for its medieval wall, old town, and narrow cobblestone street. Gbogbo population was 33,000. Now, a ti rí ìlú mẹ́rin báyìí. Ṣé mo right? Ká tó gbé ìrora wọn. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni bàbá mi Yusuf wọ́n ní San Marino is an Europe. Òun náà là ń kà nísìnyí. Wọ́n náà close to Italy. Ẹ ṣé gan ni àwọn tó mọ̀ bẹ̀ dáadáa nìyẹn. Àwọn sisters wa pọ̀ ní Italy. India is a country is more populated than the whole of Africa. Ẹ má ti gbé wa trabayé. Ẹ jẹ́ ká dúró lórí European country. Ẹ má ti mú India wá nísìn. The whole of UK, which consists of 4 countries, is not up to 80 million. Àní ká tẹ̀sí dúró lórí EU. UK ò sí lára EU mọ́. Àwa ti sá lọ kúrò lára wọn. Now, a ti yọ ìlú mẹ́ta. Àìdẹ̀ tí lo 1 million wá tán. Ṣé ń follow ní tí mo sọ àbí kí n rewind ẹ̀? Kano, gbogbo population was 4 million. A ti wá yọ ìlú mẹ́ta. Kano wá report rẹ̀ fún European Union. Ṣé rí pé kò make sense. Kano tó jẹ́ pé òun fúnra rẹ̀ ó yẹ kó máa control ìlú mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta tí mo dárúkọ yìí nísìn. Ó wá náà lọ report rẹ̀ fún. That means pé Kano report rẹ̀ fún ká tẹ̀ sọ pé Vatican ìyẹn ní ó ní kìmí díẹ̀ kò sẹ́ni tó máa gbọ́ Vatican láàárọ̀ yìí ibi tí Pope wà ìlú ọba ká tẹ̀ yọ Vatican kúrò. Èwo tún ni Kano tó ń report rẹ̀ fún Monaco because that is what is happening. But the only thing tó tá àkọ́ máa ń gbọ́ ni pé Kano is reporting Nigeria to European Union because what is the block? But àwa wá break it down to pieces. A fẹ́ mọ ìlú wo gan ló wà lábẹ́ European Union tó kéré jù. That means pé Kano report rẹ̀ fún Monaco. Monaco is 36,000. I'm sure pé local government kan máa wà ní Kano tó máa ju 36,000 lọ. Ṣé ẹ̀yin ọmọ Nàìjíríà ṣe ń follow? Ṣó make sense? Tó bá make sense ẹ lè ní Koiki shut up. O níṣẹ́ tó fẹ́ ṣe láàárọ̀ ẹ̀ sọ̀kan míì. Ṣé rí reason tá a ṣe ń sọ pé Kano report rẹ̀ fún Moke Sonki. Kano is reporting herself for the children. Nǹkan tí Sonki sọ nìyẹn. Kano is reporting herself. Ó ń report rẹ̀ fáwọn ọmọ ẹ̀. Because Kano fúnra rẹ̀ bá ṣe gbọ́ nínú ìtàn, whether we like it or not, àwọn náà ní owó. because we did a groundnut pyramid nígbà yẹn. So Kanu wá ní ẹ sọ fún Tinubu o kó má jẹ́ ká ignite Kanu o tó tún máa dé African country. Ṣé yẹ kí Kanu máa report rẹ̀ fún Malta àtẹ̀tíde Malta? Ṣé yẹ kí Kanu máa report rẹ̀ fún San Marino gbogbo population wọn láàárọ̀ is 33,745 passport wọn European passport ló ń lò because member EU ni wọ́n. That means pé wọ́n ní right láti move around European country títí dé UK tí kò sí lára wọn bá wọn mọ́. Okay, Mr. Sean, which means we don't know our worth. I mean, how can Kanu look ọmọ Hausa but ó jẹ́ kí Kanu náà máa ṣe pé ọba làwọn náà fúnra wọn níbi táwọn wà níbi ìjókòó àwọn. Ó jẹ́ kí àwọn San Marino ìyẹn ló ṣe sọ fún wa nígbà kan nínú ìtàn pé Nàìjíríà yá Dubai lówó. Ó possible because as at that time àmọ́ ta fẹ́ fowó ṣe owó yẹn ti pọ̀ jù. A wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń wo owó yẹn pé kí la máa fi ṣe. Ó dẹjà ṣe Festac 77 ká kó gbogbo Africa wá ká ta gbogbo heritage wa kí ló tún kù ẹja yá Dubai lówó ẹja. We were literally borrowing money. Kódà bá ṣe gbọ́ nínú ìtàn wọ́n ní during regional government Yorùbá àwọn bàbá wo lọ́wọ́ wọ́n yá ìjọba lówó. Àwa ṣe ń sọ pé ebi ń pa wá láàárọ̀ yìí ìyà ń jẹ wá àríṣe àrímú ṣe rí pé kò make sense. Kí ló ń fà àwọn kan ní leadership problem ni. And okay, if it's a leadership problem ǹjẹ́ màá tiẹ̀ lè contest ká lè lọ change solution yẹn. Ọmọ tèmi bá ti bá ń contest ẹ lé mi olè ní mí mo fi lọ jẹ tèmi níbẹ̀ ni. Mo ti rí logo ìyá mi ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. Tẹ bá rí Koiki pé ó tún gbé gba afẹ́ lọ dìbò ọmọ ẹ mú mi dáadáa pé olè níwọ náà ó fi lọ jẹ tiẹ̀ níbẹ̀ ni. Chop and chop òun ni Nigerian government. Chop and chop òun ni everybody. Àwọn kan lè wà lóyà báwọn ní chop but àwọn tó wà lábẹ́ wọn wọ́n máa sọ wọ́n di pé kọ́ chop. Ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn yín ṣé mọ̀ pé kò ń ṣe gbogbo bá ṣe máa ń sọ pé o lè ní gbogbo politician to be honest ló ń ṣe gbogbo wọn ló lè ẹ mọ̀ àkọ́ one bad apple kí ló òyìnbó sọ ẹ bá ń parí ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ okay ìyá mi grandma tún rán mi létí ìyá wa comfort pé Western region gave UK money which is true because a ti ṣe nínú program wa rí. Now eléyìí ò ń ṣe pé à ń bá ajá gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì jà à ń bínú sí gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì àlàyé la kàn ń ṣe fúnra wa. Mo ní Kanu la ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ láàárọ̀ kí ló dé ta ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ Kanu ìké tẹ́ bá ṣe ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Kanu náà fẹ́ rìpọ́tì Nàìjíríà fún European Union. Èmi wá ní àwọn wo ló wà ní European Union. Àkọ́kọ́ ti béèrè pé èèyàn mélòó ló mọ European Union. I realize pé àwọn kan mọ̀ àwọn kan mọ̀ tó bá ń gbọ́ EU stand for European Union. Lábẹ́ EU yẹn kó tó lè di odindi 27 states 27 nations tí wọ́n ń sọ èdè ní èdè ìlú wọn but tó bá wà nínú parliament wọn ṣe mọ̀ pé wọ́n máa ń gbé gbágbágbá sótí báyìí kí ló rò pé ṣe ń gbé kan sétí because wọ́n ò gbọ́ èdè ara wọn. Ó tí gbọ́ mi ó mọ̀ pé tó bá lọ wo tó bá wà ní ibi tí kò ń ṣe okay o lè tiri náà ní United Nations sórí gbogbo kiri tó máa ń gbé sétí yẹn it just shows that the whole world gbọ́ èdè ara wa but ní Nàìjíríà wọ́n ní a gbọ́dọ̀ gbọ́ èdè ara wa wọ́n wá fún wa ní English. So English yẹn gan àwọn kan máa ń sọ broken English àwọn kan máa ń sọ òkìrìkà English Yorùbá English but láàárín ẹ̀ we literally have 500 different languages ló wà nínú Nàìjíríà wà ní sáìdì bíbá òlélẹ̀. Mo kí yín bàbá wa ìyá mi ọlọ́pọ̀ ẹ̀jẹ̀ wọ́n ní a kú ojúmọ́ ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń jí láàárọ̀ lọ́dọ̀ yín ni ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ àkọ́kọ́ lọ ṣe coffee and tea. Ṣé ó make sense ọ̀rọ̀ tí mò ń sọ yìí? This is what is paining some of us. Now, mo ṣe fẹ́ mú country kan sí because ẹ mọ̀ pé àìtí ló 1 million wa tán ní Kánò. Ẹ sọ pé Koiki kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀? Ó ti dárúkọ ìlú mẹ́ta. Vatican 800,000. San Marino 33,000. Monaco 36,000. Ó dà ẹja kàtúwà mi. Mo fẹ́ kó pé 1 million inú ti bí mi mo ní mo gbà àkílódé ẹ jẹ́ ká tó lọ wo Listencia àbí ṣé mo pronounce dáadáa population wọn làwọn yẹn 39,000 nà mí lẹ́gbàá ní ìyá mi kan ní mo sọ Catalonia ní kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ Koiki ṣóun gbàgbé ó rí kọ́mẹ́ǹtì mi ni nínú 1 million a ti yọ ìlú 4 nínú Kánò nìkan ni mo ń sọ yìí o nínú 1 million àìtí lo 1 million yẹn pé bí akituri wine Vatican ó ní 825,000 ni wọ́n ó yá ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́mọ̀ ẹ máa bá add it together. Monaco ó ní 36,000 gbogbo figure tó kù 600 yẹn ẹja àfihàn sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ ìyá mi ọlọ́pẹ́ mú kí yín mà ó di ìlú méjì ẹ máa add ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́mọ̀ mass further mass bí ṣe ń pè é yẹ kẹ́ ti máa calculate San Marino 33,000 Lithuania ìyẹn spell as Lie ibo làwọn yẹn wà wọ́n ní is a German speaking 25 kilometre principality between Austria and New Zealand. It is known for its medieval castle, Alpine landscape and villages. Kano náà máa ní gbogbo eléyìí. Tàbá ní ká lọ wo history Kano, ó fẹ́ ju tàwọn ìlú yìí lọ. Now, Kano wá lọ ń report rẹ̀ fún ìlú tó pé a ti yọ ìlú mẹ́rin so far. Kano kò tí, ó mì wọ́n. Ẹ mọ̀ pé tó bá ní kan, ó mì nǹkan. Ẹ mọ̀ pé àwọn Yorùbá ní nǹkan mì nǹkan. We have a Kano as a state in Nigeria, but already I have been able to prove this morning that Kano has 4 countries inside it. Can you see why we are saying that Kano itself can divide into 4 countries? I am not talking about Southwest now. We are using Kano as our, Kimatabo, Yoruba and English. And many Nigerians are now expecting Kano to work. How do you get Kano to work when Kano itself sank 4 countries in the European Union as a member state? Do you know that those states now, if Tabagbe or Kano lo síbẹ̀, I don't know whether they want to go there because their culture will be different. I don't think a Kano citizen would love to go and live with them because we know that their culture is different. Not that we might not have 1 or 2, Hausa people there. That is if we still even have any Hausa anyway left. This is why some of us are saying that, are we sure that we can ever be united in Nigeria? Are we sure that we can work together? I've given 4 countries. Catalonia. And Andorra, Kawalo Catalonia, because they keep telling me, Koiki, mention Catalonia, mo ti bínú se, makuro lórí ètò ẹ̀, mo fẹ́ ká kọ́kọ́ wo Catalonia. Kí ló dé tí kò? Okay, Andorra, I can spell it, Andorra. Andorra not any military team. So táwa náà bá dá dúró. Andorra, country in Europe, and this here. Andorra, 79,000. Àwọn yẹn tẹ̀ gbérí sókè díẹ̀. Àwọn yẹn ti bímọ dáadáa. Now, ẹ jẹ́ ká wo Catalonia. Ṣé Catalonia is a country ni? Mo rò pé àwọn yẹn ṣì okay, wọ́n ṣì ń jà fún independence wọn, but again, kí ni gbogbo population wọn? Ẹ jẹ́ ká wo population wọn, because àwọn ṣì ń jà wọ̀ tí gba full independent, but ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́ wo population wọn láàárọ̀ ẹ̀. Though they are part of the government, 7.5 million, àwọn yẹn pọ̀ díẹ̀. Ẹ má ẹ̀ka lọ àwọn yẹn pọ̀ díẹ̀. Ó pọ̀ díẹ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ ká stick sáwọn tá ti múlẹ̀ nǹkan. So now, my question to the average Nigerians, àti sọ Monaco bí ẹ ṣe wọlé ní sà, àti sọ Monaco, àti sọ ẹ jẹ́ kí n rephrase gbogbo àwọn country àti sọ lẹ́ǹkan. So I'm going to start again quickly. We start with the big one, which is Vatican. So Vatican has 825,000 in population. Andorra has 79,000. Monaco has 36,000. San Marino has 33,000. Lithuania has 39,000. These are countries that are member states of European Union. I am now asking the average Hausa man today, why are you reporting yourself to EU? Because you are bigger than them. You have the landmass, you have the intellectual people, but today, according to another news headline says, from Kano, that if they are denied their mandate, they will ignite crisis, but they are also petition Nigeria to the EU, and ECOWAS. Mukiyawa Tomilola Agnes. Mukiyawa Abe Williams. Mukibugo in grandma as well, and grandfather as well. My name is Olayomi Koiki. My job is just to educate and let Nigerians decide whether truly and truly we still want to remain one, or we need to start talking about the future of who we are as indigenous people. That will not create hatred among us. it will just make us to flourish better. And if you're saying that we're going to flourish better, I am not sure whether we will flourish under this administration. Ogundimo, you're more excited, my brother. You okay? I couldn't watch your program yesterday, but I did share it anyway. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. And if there's any other media that is underneath, I can't see you, I say good morning. The question again is, Ogundimo, my brother, Moni Kanu, Ulon report from EU. Our low EU. Kini meaning EU, European Union. We now realize that 4 countries, Kano can sank them. You know, Tabano must swallow one, they be pay. They refili one. Well, that's fine. If you say Tinubu is the best, well, so far at least he can speak better than Buhari, but I can't say anything. Even Amnesty International says we have not seen anything good about Tinubu when it comes to human rights. You don't have to agree with me. Neither do I need to agree with you. If you are in military depot, the barawaja, akuku morawari tele. The bade rimi, the tobo meloju, if not the tobo meloju. So we are not here to, to argue. If you say Tinubu is the best, oh yes, I will say Tinubu is the best because Angbon Koton so Buhari, Malani, Nagode, Angbon Koporara, and we saw what has happened. But the question I'm saying this morning is not about Tinubu. I'm talking about Kanu because Kanu might ignite the problem. Because if Kanu, a political party, is saying that we have written petition to EU, I don't want the EU. Some of you don't even know that you can also control a state. Because if Tabalowo, okay, let me put it this way. Google can give me that answer quickly. The youngest prime minister in EU, in European countries. Let's just find something. Europe's leaders are younger and less experienced. Who is the youngest prime minister of a country? No, the EU no need. Who are the youngest leader in EU? Okay, in the European movement in Ireland. Let's see if this one gives us something. So some of Nigerians that are thinking that lead that be Tinubu is because that is the lie they've told you. If Nigeria was working, you don't need any godfatherism. It's only Nigeria. I don't know whether other African countries. In this country, listen, Mole contest as an independent person. We move MP, move senator equivalent in Nigeria. Inje ayeyewa in Nigeria. Inje ale contest as an independent because these are what makes country to work when the rule of law applies. But in Nigeria today, we know Mokiyame first ban. But today, the reason why we are struggling, somebody said, I watched the lawmaker yesterday and I said nothing but corrupt officials deceiving us. But people say they're not deceiving us. Okay, Ayogudim was telling me that the minister of Finland is the youngest in European country. Thank you so much for that update. Now, let me quickly give you some kind of headline from a website called European Movement Ireland, because it might be reference so that you can go back and watch and read. Who is the youngest MEP ever elected? Meet Kira. Maria Peter Assen was elected as a member of European Parliament, just 21 years old. Obirini kò ní láti bá ẹnì kankan sùn, wọn ní láti tọwọ́ bọ̀ nídìí, kò need anybody to be able to get there. All she needs to do is to prove that she can become that MEP. She's 21 years old. Kira Peter Assen made history in the European Parliament election in May as being the youngest ever person elected to the institution, taking a seat for the Socialist People's Party in Danish left wing. There are some people that are left wing. And one left wing here, and one yato see the right wing. So Mumbai Lowe Nigerians, Laroy, many Nigerians, do you think that a 21 years old can become a senator in Nigeria? It's just a question. I don't know. Do you think that we can have a 21 years old representing us at the African Union? These are why some of us are concerned for the future of that country. Yami comfort me. Wow, wonderful. Well, what about me break Bubu down? I didn't say that earlier. Yami Comfort sọ pé Mr. Koiki gbogbo ìlú tó sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan yẹn the total population okòrí back of the 18 wò wá ẹjẹ wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n ní these 5 countries are less than 2 million 187,825 the whole country that we talked about earlier and this country ni Kano ló ń report fún so Kano State is reporting itself to a countries of less than 200,000. Does it make sense? I don't know. You might tell me it makes sense. Sibi Africa Lawa. Do you think that they are better off us? Do you think that this 21-year-old girl is better off? Because these are the king. Awatani after Yoruba nation. People will come and ask me, Koiki ta ló máa jẹ leader? And I'm thinking, what about you? Are you not thinking that you can be our leader? You want to let your leader out. We can push you forward. Don't look at yourself down. Look at it from the point that if this 21 years old, okay, let's look at the next person. Who is the youngest European commissioner? Meet Virgin Jews, Sinkevicius. At just 29 years old, the new European Commissioner for Environmental, Ocean and Fishery, Virgin Jews, is the youngest ever commissioner, while in 2016, it will be the first government minister in Lithuania. Mélòó ni Lithuania? The whole of population of Lithuania. So when some of you are saying you don't want Yoruba nation, but you want Nigeria where you will never be given an opportunity, the question we're asking is, what is wrong with us? Lithuania is 2.8 million. Kódà Kano ṣì jù wọ́n lọ. You can take 2 of Lithuania out of Kano. So Kano is reporting itself to Lithuania, a country of less than 2.8 million as of 2021. Something is not right somewhere. Moke Dennis, most of them did not that the European Union is their eyes is not too well. Dimeji is 34 years old when he became the House of Reps member in Ogun State, in the central Nigeria. Okay, that's fine. 34 years old. That's a good one. That's a good one. But I'm asking again, why would Kano report itself to the European Union for election that took place in a country worth 200 million people? So we are reporting ourselves. The whole of European Union is 400 million. So we are half of that. Yet we cannot decide things for ourselves because there's no regulation. There's no institution. The institution is not respected. If the institution is respected, they'll respect us around the world. If we have the system that is working, the Inspector General of Police literally called the military Boko Haram. That is a big word. Once again, let's go into the full topic because I'm going to end the program very soon as well. NMPP petition European Union. I've given you a full background of European Union and you've got a better understanding so that you start asking the question, would you ever be given that opportunity without any kind of support from the gladiator? Because these individuals that we mentioned earlier, okay, I've got and who is the youngest sitting prime minister in the world? Meet Sama Marin. Sama Marin, while at present, she's the youngest sitting prime minister in the world. Sama Marin is 34 years old, first entered politics in 2012 when she was elected to her hometown city council, Tampere, in the south of Finland. In her 5 years, she gained reputation as the tough, straight-talking operator, aged 27 years old. A member of the Social Democratic Party. We already got the answer because Citizen Ewa was able to tell us that earlier. A member of the Social Democratic Party, she was elected to the constituency of Pikama in 2015. Following the re-election in 2019, she was appointed the Minister for Transport and Communication. She is now Finland's third female prime minister, having been approved by those in her Social Democratic Party, SDP. This follows former Prime Minister Anita Rin's resignation over his handling of ongoing dispute with postal workers further. Now, let's go back to the full conversation. Are we going to see the ignite of Nigeria from Kano? It's just a question. I don't know, but the Kano NNPP says if care is not taken, we will ignite crisis in the northern part of Nigeria. The New Nigerian People's Party has petitioned the European Union, the British Commission, the Canadian Embassy, and the Economic Community of West African States, among others, over the appeal court judgment that upheld the sacking of Governor Abba Yusuf of Kano State. Do you think that this governor, probably maybe they don't want Nigeria to ignite into crisis, they'll just let it go and let it pass? You can ask yourself that question. Do you think so? Mukiyawa Mudukwe Alawo. And shout out to every one of you on the thread. We'll be ending very, very soon, and maybe we'll come back later, we will see. While presenting a petition at the European Union Secretariat, the National Auditor of the NNPP, Ladipo Johnson, on behalf of the acting national chairman, Abba Ali, alleged that moves were being made to truncate the will of the majority of Kano electorate who voted for Yusuf on the March 18, 2023. He said the deliberately hijack of the people's mandate in Kano will no doubt have consequences politically, economically, socially, especially in the light of its humanitarian repercussions. From the look of things, their distant moves to truncate the will of the vast majority of the people of Kano State concerning the governor they freely and willingly elected on March 18, 2023, Engineer Abba Kabir Yusuf. We call on President Bola Tinubu, world leaders, former Nigerian presidents, head of state, head of international organizations, head of local and international agencies, and all promoters of democracy to cancel the Nigerian judiciary, especially the Supreme Court, in respect of the Kano State governorship seat. What they are saying is that we don't care whatever is going to happen. We will attack, we will create crisis, and we will ignite problem in the north that will fall into other African countries. This is what they're saying. So maybe some of us should start monitoring what is going to happen in Kano State. Would Bola Tinubu or the judiciary bow down for their threat? Imagine if the Igbos give this kind of threat. What do you think would have happened today? Imagine if Yoruba gives this kind of threat. Kilerukuma Shele. Ayogunde will say Nigeria is just a mess. Imagine if the Southwest, the Southeast issue this kind of threat. We've never issued any of this threat, yet Igbo's house was attacked. He was almost killed. Nnamdi Kanu has not issued this kind of threat, yet he was almost killed in 2017. Dogs, individuals were killed. He escaped until Buhari and Osibajo kidnapped and renditioned him back to Nigeria. He will be returning back to court in the next 15 days. And we hope this time around, the Supreme Court will let him go. Princess Adebimpe Gramani Awoniyi, people would have been arrested. Ayogunde will say the double standard. So you can tell now that, so this is a political party, given this threat that I'm reading is in circulation. I don't know whether Tinubu government have responded to this, or they are concerned that should we not temper the situation, Kano will explode, and that means Walori platform, Princess Awoni, the platform is going to shut down because it is actually telling me, so sorry, the other thread, because we still have a few more minutes before we finish, it's saying 7 minutes, it's going to go down in just about a few minutes. So I might have to stop it before it goes down itself. So what I'm trying to explain is that, like Ayogunde says, do we now say that some part of the country can say whatever they want? So while I'm saying self-determination, I haven't called for arms struggle. All I'm saying is that we want to break away from Nigeria. Do you know that they are running after us like they are that problem sile? Remember, some of you say, I wanted to create problem. What about this one now? What do we say to that? I don't know. Ayogunde say double standard. So we call on President Bola Tinubu, I've read that already. As we head towards this next level of adjudication. I don't know when they're going to court again, but I'll be monitoring that, and we'll probably find out, because think about it, in Nigeria, the news travels fast, especially on the social media. As we head towards this level of adjudication, which of course is the final, there is palatable tension in Kano. Do you think that they are now putting a threat to the new administration? Ṣé Bola Tinubu ma accept the threat here, or we just say, don't wo ló bí yọ kẹrẹ, tẹ́ bá try any mess, èmi ni wà lórí ìjọba, kò ṣe Buhari, á dì pẹ̀lú yín. What do you think is going to happen? Remember that Buhari dealt with us. Ṣé Tinubu náà máa deal pẹ̀lú wọn ní north? The other way around. It's an interesting time to be alive. Because Buhari was dealing with us. Àwọn tiwa náà ló ń lò. Á lo àwọn Yorùbá kọ́ lọ fi deal pẹ̀lú wa. Ṣé Tinubu náà máa lo àwọn north tó jẹ́ security wọn? If they make any attempt to destabilize this my government that I've just taken over, I will go after every one of you. I don't know. We wait and see. D-Nick says the problem of Nigeria will come from the north to divide very soon. If you truly ask me my opinion, I will say whatever is going to just make it go, I am happy. It's as simple as that. So I look forward. I pray that the Supreme Court keeps this government. No, the Supreme Court still remove this engineer. And I want to see what they're going to do. And I want to see how Tinubu will react. Whether I am Jagaban of Yoruba land, you will not truncate this my government at this time. Jasper Asokwe, Tinubu will not. He's too ambitious. So Tinubu will just let go. Wow. So Tinubu will just let go. Just like that. Really interesting time ahead. We're almost done in the next few minutes. So they are saying that the city atmosphere is enveloped in anger. While the Southwest is complaining about the terrorist killings, are we not in anger? But we are keeping our anger all the time. We are retaining it so that it doesn't explode. The same thing is happening in the South. Okay, according to this, Jagaban go deal with them. Oh, I love that one. Don't try nonsense or you're not. Jagaban go deal with you. According to this, I want to Jagaban here. I can tell from his comment in the last few days or in the last few hours. Jasper, he will start talking and making peace moves. Everybody about Jagabanje. Baba Yami Abosede in my prayers that misunderstanding will lead to the gbasgbos. In the meaning gbasgbos, that will come out delay me. My mom has told me just leave that for now. But Akorede says, look, APC will not tolerate any nonsense. NNPP, you lost out. Whatever you want to do, try that mess. We have a Yoruba in the government. We have a Yoruba that has security. We go deal with you. Only can't you see that IPOB has gone silent? I can't see that. It's a lie. Akorede, don't come and tell me that. IPOB has not gone silent. So don't come and give us that fabu. In Tonshele, Nino Southeast, military Sosita. We can agree on some things. I will not agree with you on everything. So don't come and tell me IPOB has gone silent. What do you mean by that? IPOB has gone silent. Ni won daru ko Simon Ekpa lójoojúmọ́ nínú Senate. I beg. Mama muye wa fún mi. Mama muye let me by you. You know, I tolerate every comment because this one will be military platform. But mama muye let pe IPOB has gone silent. Kí ló mọ̀ pé IPOB gone silent. Tí wọ́n bá tó bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ sí Southeast níjọ́ Monday. Èmi ni mo sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Go report for me láti bẹ̀ pé Mr. Koiki ó dán mi wò mo dẹ̀ wà ní Southeast. Go there go lọ sí ìjọba ó travel to Southeast on Monday. When international community embassy what ti fi alert pé wọ́n bí anybody dá nínú member ṣe rántí pé wọ́n pa àwọn American embassy staff kan ní Southeast. So ẹ má wá síbi ìwẹ̀kẹ́ wá fún wa ní múlẹ̀ o. So o lè sọ pé they play mi náà ní they play. But we can agree and disagree. Emi ò lẹ́mọ̀ Tinubu ní bíbá. You're right to be here. But like I say, for me, I don't see Tinubu doing anything. Òun náà kọ́ máa gbádùn ayé ẹ̀ ní ó dẹ̀ máa lọ. I will go if you send transport money. I will do video. Lówó ló ń sọ yẹn. Kí ló dé? Ìwọ big boy. Ìwọ ọmọ Tinubu ò lówó. Can you imagine? Ìwọ tó ń support Tinubu ní kí n send owó sẹ irọ́ ló pa. Màá fún ẹ lówó àlọ́jókòó síbi kan bí àwọn ti Yorùbá nation. Mr. Koiki mi lélẹ́yìí o mo ti fẹ́ débẹ̀. Pín wọn tún máa tẹ ọ́nù mọ́tò. Àdàbà fowó bí jẹ pẹpẹ soup. Ìrọ̀ ìbò sẹ́ni tí wọ́n bá ti débẹ̀ ṣe fídíò. tó bá ti wà níbẹ̀ tí mo confirm I'll send owó sí ẹ níbẹ̀ lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ tó máa fi padà níjọ́ Monday ni o má lọ níjọ́ Tuesday o wà á dẹ̀ máa ṣe fídíò tó máa fi débẹ̀ fún mi ni o so that's just a joke aside. So anyway, we got to go now because I just want to go and take a short break. We might come back probably just for another knockoff. Get a feel so that we just take a short break. So Moki Bugwale can see. So for me, the bá béèrè pé Mr. Koiki, kí ni view tẹ lórí ti Kanu yẹn? Mo kí àwa Táíwò Kíkẹ́, mo kí ìyá wa Mofolúwakẹ́, ìyá wa Bólúwatifẹ́, àbíbẹ́ mo kí sister mi wà pẹ̀lú ẹwà. Ẹni tí bá dárúkọ má fi ṣe bínú. Whatever is going to happen in Kanu, I pray that the judgment still goes back to APC. Because Akorede, ọmọ APC lòun, ó ní wọ̀ tó bẹ́ẹ̀, ó ní Mr. Koiki Jagaban ló wà lórí oyè. Wọ̀ tó bẹ́ẹ̀ NNPP yẹn ń dán, wọ́n ń pariwo ní ṣèbí bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ṣe ń pariwo Yorùbá nation yẹn tí Buhari lé gbogbo yín tẹ sádànù. Tó fi pa Ìgbòho tí gbogbo yín ya dànù. Wọ́n ní ìbẹ́ náà gbọ́n sá lọ ni. So àfẹ́ wo tí Tinubu máa ṣe. So àdúrà tèmi ni pé APC ní kó retain governorship election Kanu. Mo fẹ́ wo bí àwọn NNPP náà ń dẹnu ni ká dẹ̀ wo bí wọ́n ń dẹnu ni ká wo tó máa ṣe fún Tinubu. Nigeria is sitting on a ticking time bomb. Ọlọ́run á wà pẹ̀lú wa. Àní kó nú ẹ̀ but tí nǹkan bá ṣẹlẹ̀ àtẹ̀mí àtẹ̀yìn àtàwátàwà níta kò sẹ́ni tó ní affect o. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Yoruba nation is here to stay. God bless Yoruba nation. Olùkọ́ máa ní God bless Nigeria lọ́dún wo bí aláyé àtijọ́ kódà tí bá ṣì sọ gan sẹ́ máa repeat ẹ̀ pé kò tó bẹ́ẹ̀ God kankan lè bless Nigeria. God bless the Yoruba territory. God bless Arewa territory. God bless Igbo territory, South. Don't come and tell me about the minority. They can have their own country. As long as they are even less than 30,000. At a country metajadi that are not even up to 40,000. So the minority, you now have right to set up your own nation. God bless us all. Have a very good afternoon. My name is Olayomi Koiki. Thank you so much. Bye for now.